Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on the John Campea YouTube channel. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it? Especially if you love the movies. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, but most importantly, your pharaoh of physical media, Robert Meyer Burnett, and this is, I can't even sing it, Let's Get Physical Media, episode 130. First things first, I was going to be at the LA Comic-Con today. I still came up with a positive COVID test this morning, which effing blows. So anybody that wanted to come see me at the LA Comic-Con today at the William Friedkin panel at 2 o'clock, I will not be there, but Joe Lynch is going to be there, and who knows what else. And I can't. I mean, I couldn't in good conscience go. But you know what? I have the next best thing for you. I know, you see him, he wasn't here last week. I wasn't on last week because I was the last person to come down with it again in my house, but wasn't here last week at all. Going to bring back Cliff Stevenson to talk. He was going to come on last week. But you know him. You love him. He's your favorite German. He's my favorite German. He's the world's favorite German. And you can say it with me right now, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. He is, after all, Mr. Dieter Bastian. Mr. Bastian, how are you today? How are you?
Well, Rob, are you that competitive? You were thinking, the douche from Saarbrücken had the Seabug for a second time. I will get it for a third time, just to outdo the guy.
The thing is, I've been getting it in my own house. People bring it into the house. The same person. I won't say their name, Zoe Bell, but the same person has brought it into the house. It's
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. How are you today? How's your week?
I'm energetic, Rob, because we have a lot of stuff to discuss. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here. Here I am. Rock you like a hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. Since we've been away for 2 weeks, I have a lot of stuff considering physical media to show you. And, of course, Rob, Kiss played their last concert yesterday at the Madison Square Garden, but I didn't purchase...
Their last concert.
Yeah, exactly, Rob, their last... Oh, look at the balloons. Their last concert in Madison Square Garden yesterday, but I didn't purchase the PPV ticket because, no surprise to me, the setlist was exactly the same as they played the last 4 years. So for the last concert, a little bit of a letdown if I would have actually watched it. But they played the last gig yesterday. And on another note, Rob, there were two things in my YouTube space that I move around that went viral. The first thing was, of course, Elon telling the advertisers, I don't need your money, go away. He
didn't say go away. Yeah,
he said it a little bit differently. Yeah. And the other thing was, of course, Rob, like you, I went to the theater, Rob, and saw Godzilla -1. Exactly.
Bro, you know what I did not have on my 2023 bingo card? I did not have that there would be a Godzilla-themed TV series on Apple Plus, Monarch, which is actually quite good. Yeah. And we would get a new Toho Godzilla movie that arguably is the greatest Godzilla movie ever made.
I totally agree, Rob. But one of my YouTubers that I like to follow, Adam Does Movies, got into a little bit of a pickle this week because he was actually the first who gave it a rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. And even at the John Campea show, this week, before John and Ray went to see Godzilla minus one, Ray was looking up the Rotten Tomatoes score. Oh no, it dropped to 97%. Who is this guy? And actually, Adam, bro, and he got destroyed in the comments for his take.
I haven't watched it. Why didn't he? How can you not like? First of all, how can you not like that movie?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And Adam, bro, I still love you. I still enjoy your reviews. My advice, Adam, even if you sometimes say, I won't watch that movie ever again. I still like to watch movies a second time. Get a second grasp on the movies. Of course, I have my movies that I will not watch a second time. I will not watch Five Nights at Freddy's again. Or
yeah. Understand.
And I wanted to
but why did he not like it?
Yeah. He couldn't get into the characters. He said the trailer didn't sell the movie a little bit different to him. And I would like to give an example for me where a second viewing changed my mind on the movie itself. So for me, if I were a certified critic on the Rotten Tomato meter, which I know it's only up and down, 2 examples. So we get a little bit of physical media in it. You know, Rob, I of course bought Thor, Love and Thunder. When I came out of the theater back in the day, thought, yeah, I had a good time, some laughs, you know. And Rob was right. Rob said in the John Campia show, even before the movie came out, just when they released the font, Rob said, I want to hear Dio, Rainbow in the Dark. It played during the end credits. I said, Rob was right. When I came out, quite enjoyed it. I was under depression, I enjoyed it. But now, I'm totally said, the movie is trash. You know, rotten. But when I came out of the theater, I would have slightly given it a fresh, you know. So it's totally possible, Adam. When the movie comes out, Adam, digital, give it another shot. Look at it again. And for me, Rob, considering Godzilla -1, just from the effect side, how is this movie possible to do for just 15 million? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I saw on the screen, you know? So, Adam, my advice, give it a second viewing. Try to look at it again and see, because it's not wrong, or it's totally possible to change your opinion on a movie. Another example, which brings us to the first physical media, which was in some sort of buzz too in the US, because nobody says he's getting it, it's sold out. Of course, I'm speaking of Oppenheimer, the Steelbook that I got.
Let's see that one more time. Show that to one more time.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a very pretty Steelbook.
Yeah, there are different cover variations. It comes, of course, with the movie as 4K, Blu-ray, and special features. When I came out of Oppenheimer, Rob, if I were a certified fresh critic on Rotten Tomatoes, I would have given it a rotten, because I couldn't get into that story. I didn't care about Oppie getting his security clearance. I was there, wanted to see building that bomb, making that time race against the Nazis. So the movie was different than I was expecting. But now, watching it the second time, last Sunday, because I had free time, Rob, last Sunday, because I didn't have to do a show, so I had 3 hours.
Oh, make me feel guilty. Guilt trip me, buddy. Thanks.
Exactly. So I watched it a second time. Now, with the knowledge, the movie is different, you know. It is about that topic, considering Oppie being perhaps a spy or not. So with that different view, it went from what was actually rotten to fresh now in my mind. And I now enjoy the movie, because the other thing was, against the theatrical experience, I didn't have to do a 15-minute break. I didn't have a half hour of commercials in front of it. And I didn't have Rob, one in the theater, putting out his smartphone and filming the atomic explosion. I couldn't believe it when I saw the movie in theaters. So this went up in the scale. So Adam, my advice, let the storm, the waves calm a little bit down, and when the movie is available digitally, give it a second shot. If you stay with your opinion, totally fine, nothing wrong with that. But if you change your opinion, it's always possible to change your Rotten Tomatoes score to a fresh. And Rob, considering our first physical media release, Oppenheimer, the one thing that I did get reminded from Oppenheimer, considering special features, besides what you think about the movie, special features can make you appreciate the movie, no matter what you think of the movie as your opinion. Because the special features are first class. We get that the documentary you get about Oppenheimer itself, and of course the making of. And for me, Rob, have you seen Oppenheimer?
I've seen the movie, but I haven't seen I don't have the disc yet.
Yeah. And the scene with Gary Oldman where they had to build the Oval Office, for me it was totally, you don't think about stuff like that when you watch the movie.
Right.
They had to build that set in 5 days, Rob. You know, could you build me that set in 5? The Oval Office? Oh, okay, let's do that. You know, and that is one thing that the special features here reminded me of, to get more of an appreciation of the movie, no matter what you think of the movie itself. So the special features are great, but one of the critics for me for the movie still stands. I still find Atomic Explosion lackluster, Rob, and for me, this movie gained nothing from the format perspective changes. If you have seen it, Rob, at the beginning of chapter 6, there is a change for 2 seconds. Where it opened up. So for 2 seconds, come on, Rob, where they have just sitting at a diner. So, Chris, why is there a change in that format for 2 seconds?
Right.
So for me, the movie would totally work fine if there weren't. I enjoy that we have that on disc, but for me, the movie would be totally working in the 2:35 to 1 space itself. Back to Godzilla -1, Rob. I totally enjoyed it. For me, at the moment, it's an 8 out of 10 only, Rob, because I had to watch it in German. You know, the Japanese version was at a later starting date and had early shift. I only could go to the German version. For me, Godzilla was never more a threat than in this movie. And Rob, the atomic breath, I was thinking, what the hell is going on? Like, really, a nuclear explosion went off. And they really managed to get you invested in the characters.
Yes,
you know?
Very much so.
Which the American movies always failed. And I thought, without giving too much away, the idea that they had how to defeat Godzilla, I really dug the idea that they had, you know, sink it to the bottom. And, you know, because this week I watched The Dive, which is the remake of Breaking Surface, which had to do with Decompression 2. You know?
Sure.
So, if you remember, Rob, back in the day, I was pretty harsh on the remake of One Cut of the Dead, of the French remake.
Yes. Which, by the way, Kino Lorber put out on Blu-ray. Thank you, Kino Lorber.
Which I said, totally unnecessary. And The Dive actually fits that bill too, because I already have the Norwegian movie. But this one didn't hurt that much, I have to say. Even if it hits the same beats, I quite enjoyed The Dive. Great sound design. And this is actually a German production, but the sound is English. Language is in English. So German production, but they made it in English. So Rob, Godzilla -1. You know what I want to know?
I know what you want to know. I'm ready for you. You ready? You want to know about the weekend box office here? The weekend box office here in the States. Obviously, the big news is not Godzilla.
Yeah.
The big news is Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, had a $22 million opening. Irreplaceable for a sleepy early December weekend. $95 million was made at the box office this weekend. It is the best December beginning frame post-2018. So that's pretty good, even though they call it the sleepy box office weekend. Of course, this comes from our boy Anthony D'Alessandro, who writes, AMC's second concert movie, Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, though clearly front-loaded in its previews and Friday with a Saturday tumble of 48%, remains solid enough to hit a $22 million opening per industry sources. AMC is calling the weekend at $21 million, and for a movie opening during the listless the first weekend of December, that's fantastic. Not far behind Tom Cruise's 2003 The Last Samurai, which still holds the weekend record of $24.2 million.
Oh.
Box office org Intelligence reports 900,000 attendees for Beyonce this weekend. The 32-time Grammy winner, catapulted what is typically a truly off weekend at the box office to $95 million, the best the first weekend of December has seen since 2018. Sources slapped their foreheads over AMC's move, which was mutual with Beyonce to release the movie over what is a terrible box office weekend. However, here it is, and the movie fared quite well, slightly ahead of its $20 million expectations. Should the movie have been programmed during 2024, where we need product? Should the movie have arrived so soon in the wake of Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour? Surely there were other options, but this was the choice that was made. NYC-based distributor Variants handled bookings for Renaissance stateside, a la Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, with Trafalgar handling the international release. Renaissance repped the second straight #1 opening at the domestic box office from AMC Theaters distribution. Now, why is this significant? I would like to posit or point out that Taylor Swift went directly to AMC, went directly to a distributor. Now, it's Taylor Swift and Beyonce, two giants, two queens of pop music, arguably of the last 25 years, the two most significant female recording artists, maybe of all time, in a way. Now, I'm not if you love Janis Joplin, I'm not disparaging her. I still think Ann Wilson is the greatest rock female vocalist of all time, but that's just me. You can't deny that both Beyonce and Taylor Swift are goddesses. They're Mount Olympus level talents. So I'm not saying that, but the fact that both of them went and made a deal directly with a distributor means, and I'm sure that it's a very rich deal. This is a tectonic shift in terms of they don't need studios. You think a studio wouldn't want to get a little piece of that Taylor cheddar? Maybe that's a gross thing to say, but I mean, somebody. I hope not. But and same with Beyonce. This is a really interesting shift in the business, and when you have Deadline talking about, well, this is not normally what we would see in the business. This is new. This is something that is new, and with things that are new, I mean, you got to give it up to. I give it up to them, because if it's possible, if you were to make a Blumhouse level $5 million horror movie that was actually really good, like if you made a Barbarian, or if you made Talk to Me, why not go directly to a studio? I mean, to a theater, to AMC, and be like, you know what? I'm going directly to you. That could be a significant game changer in terms of the movie business. And I think, obviously both Taylor Swift and Beyonce they're not a low budget indie horror film. But it's still significant. And I think it's interesting. I mean, as far as the business is concerned, because, the motion picture business is a mess. And I think the people who are working at the studios now, I think they're all standing around going, what's going on? And so I certainly they are with physical media. They don't know fuck all about physical media. And the fact that, let's talk about, here, let me finish the box office before I go off.
Is the Beyonce movie exactly structured as the Taylor Swift? It only plays on the weekends?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It might be. I'm not sure. On behalf of AMC Theaters Distribution and the entire theatrical industry, we thank Beyonce for bringing this incredible film directly to her fans through the magic of moviegoing. To see it resonate with fans and film critics on a weekend that many in the industry typically neglect is a testament to her immense talent, not just as a performer, but as a producer and director. We're so grateful for her vision to bring her Renaissance masterpiece to the big screen. So the demos for Renaissance were 72% female, broken down. That's 51% of women over 25, 21% of women under 25, men over 25 at 19%, and men under 25 at 8%. Probably because, they went as their dates for their ladies.
Yeah.
Also boosting this weekend is the third go-round of the Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. 14.5 million with a very good 50% hold and a running total of 121.2 million, as well as Toho International's $11 million start for its subtitled Japanese movie Godzilla -1. For the latter, that's the largest opening for a foreign film this year, overtaking Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, which opened at 10.1 million back in March. The marketing for Renaissance, similar to the Eras Tour, was limited and confined to a handful of trailer drops and a social media push. Per Relish Mix before the opening, Renaissance campaign clocked 480.3 million followers from Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So they're not even spending marketing dollars on this movie. They're using the massive social media that already exists. I mean, this could be the future. We're going to see a lot more of this. And if people can figure out how, obviously, to put, if you can figure out a way to get indie horror, I don't know how you don't, having Taylor Swift and Beyonce you can't expect this result with anything else. But if there's a way, it's the beginning. It's the opening up. So here's something interesting. While AMC had the monster share of the Eras Tour's box office, many moviegoers thinking that was the only circuit they could see the movie. This time for Renaissance, the number one movie chain accounted for 51% of the market share, followed by Regal, Cinemark, and so there's other people that were showing it because the distribution is through AMC, but they were able to get it to other theaters.
Yeah.
Also, Godzilla -1. Godzilla -1's targeted ad campaign included the first drop trailer in July, which was a localized version of the Japanese trailer and teaser poster, which yielded over 3.5 million video views. A longer trailer and a localized one for English markets dropped in September, with 15 million views across social platforms and YouTube. A second trailer was dropped on November 3rd, with tickets going on sale for Godzilla Day, which marked the 69th anniversary of the first Pix release. The Toho International marketing team partnered with New York-based Japan Society to create a fan-first event hosting a screening of the original 1954 Godzilla film in 35mm over those markets. So that's, again, for a movie that cost $15 million, it just goes to show you that the business, if you want to, the studios, they're spending $200 million, and that's not even not including marketing on movies that are underperforming. And you get, arguably Godzilla has been on movie screens since 1954.
Yeah,
and to get this movie on the eve of its 70th anniversary year, that only cost $15 million, and arguably it's the best film. I made a joke. I said, this is the Skyfall of Godzilla movies. Even though I'm not a big fan.
But how that fits, Rob? You don't like Skyfall?
I don't, but Skyfall it was the first Bond film that made $1 billion. So,
exactly.
And it brought back a seriousness. This is a very serious movie. And if you think about the franchise, there's movies where Godzilla dances. If you watch, things like Godzilla versus Megalon, Godzilla and Jet Jaguar kicking, Megalon and Gigan's ass or whatever, and Godzilla does the Godzilla dance. And there's so many different kinds of Godzilla movies throughout his 70-year career, or her 70-year career, that it's nice to see the franchise be reinvigorated by a very serious and thoughtful meditation. There's a lot going on in this movie, And it shows that any franchise is one great movie away from being entirely revitalized.
Yeah.
And
totally.
and you need, I would hold Godzilla -1 up as an example of what can happen to any franchise, whether it's Star Wars, Star Trek. I mean, when you have Bob Iger coming out and admitting that we were doing what Rob Burnett says not to do. Don't put your universe or don't put your agendas before your characters and story. And Bob Iger's coming out and saying it. And Godzilla -1 is a perfect example of how you should treat your franchises. And if you Star Trek should be, and I'm not saying you have to make it as somber as this movie is, but it's a good movie and it has a lot going on. And it
has
does
authorship, Rob, as you would say.
Total authorship. And,
authorship.
if you remember the movie Returner, the director made Returner. Right. And also the director...
that I didn't know, Rob. Returner, I love Returner.
He's the same director, and he also directed the live-action space battleship Yamato movie from 2010, which isn't the greatest movie in the world, but the visual effects and what he tried to do it's pretty impressive. I just didn't like what they did with the Gamelons. Yeah. But this director knows what he's doing, and he was the visual effects supervisor. So it just goes to show you that if you want a modern example of how to deal with a franchise, Godzilla -1 is it. Anyway, let me give you the breakdown so I don't have to pontificate. People like, get to the physical media, guys. So here it is. Renaissance, $22 million this weekend. Hunger Games made another $14.5 million, which is up to $121.2 million. Very respectable. That's domestic. Godzilla -1's at $11 million. Trolls Band Together, $74.8 million. The Disney movie Wish was down 62%, and it's made $41.9 million total. Ridley Scott's Napoleon made $7.1 million, up to $45.7 million. And remember, we're going to get a 4-hour version on Apple Plus. So
I'm waiting on that version.
Yeah. And then $60.7 million. Now, here's something interesting. Angel Studios that made the movie Sound of Freedom, they have a sci-fi movie, sort of a multiverse sci-fi movie starring Neil McDonough, who plays the devil, called The Shift. The Shift. Now, I've read some disappointing reviews. It's based on a short film that I watched, and it looked really interesting to me, even though it's a faith-based genre movie. I'm probably going to go see this just because I want to see it. $4.35 million. Interesting. I mean, Angel Studios, again, I would, if you're going to make, and by the way, do you know what people have said about this movie, The Shift? Yeah. They've said that it's a loose retelling of the story of Job. And, I've been obsessed with wanting to do my own version of Job as a movie, the Book of Job. And so I've got to see it for that reason alone. And then, of course, disappointingly, John Woo's Silent Night opens to number 9.
Mixed reviews.
Mixed reviews at $3 million. And then, of course, bringing up the rear, Thanksgiving is $2.63 million for a total of $28.3 million at the box office.
And I think Eli Ross is already planning a sequel.
Yeah, they're making a second Thanksgiving. Dark meat, white meat, all will be carved. Thanksgiving. I don't know. I can't help but say that all the time. And somebody said the other night, Ryan sent in a super chat on Midnight Musings and asked, do we really need another Godzilla? Where's our generation? Where's our generation Stanley Kubrick? And exactly. But the thing is, I don't think we have anyone like Stanley Kubrick. And I was making the point, and I was on a show yesterday, and we were on the 1/6 Scale Mafia's action figure show talking about this very thing. And when people like Jodie Foster and Martin Scorsese are complaining about superhero movies dominating the landscape, it's not the superhero movies that they're really talking about. It's the fact that the studios now have the whole business has shifted. The studios are making $200 million movies to chase $1 billion box office on a global scale. And what we're not getting is other movies as well. Like, no one's going to make The Verdict. And if you think about Tom Cruise movies like The Color of Money and The Firm, he's not even making those movies anymore. He's making Mission Impossible movies, chasing that $1 billion. And cinema, the language, the art form of cinema is essentially gone. And but there's look, both Barbie and Oppenheimer are auteurist visions. And I would say that, I mean, this is going to seem, Stanley Kubrick's my favorite director, but Barbie has a lot in common with a Stanley Kubrick movie. And if Stanley Kubrick directed a Barbie movie, I'm not saying it would be the same thing that Greta Gerwig did with that movie, but it might be in the same ballpark, you know, depending if you had Kubrick directing a Barbie film. So I would say that getting Oppenheimer and Barbie, both of these movies did extraordinarily well at the box office, shows that there is life when you have auteurist visions in the theater. People will go see them. Yeah. So, and by the way, I've got another question for you.
Yeah.
The Furiosa trailer dropped.
Rob, I have not seen it because, you know, I stay away from
trailers.
You stay away from trailers. I will wait till the final product.
Okay. I just...
How is the trailer, Rob? Just tell me, how is the trailer?
You told on
you think there's some backlash to it?
Well, yes. So as a trailer, I thought the trailer was fine. You know, it's okay. But here's the thing.
Is it a trailer or a teaser? Rob?
It's a teaser. It's a teaser. And it takes place in the world of Mad Max Fury Road. So it's a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road. First of all, don't ever bet against my man, George Miller. I mean, even if he's making a movie or producing a movie that doesn't entirely work, he's one of our great auteurs. I mean, the Mad Max, this will be the 5th Mad Max universe movie. You know, and there was people I really like, you know, calling it out as some girl boss movie, and another example of it. Come on, it's George Miller. It's like James Cameron. James Cameron has earned your respect. George Miller, the 5 Mad Max films. I mean, dude, Fury Road. Come on. Fury Road is an undeniable banger of epic proportions. The movie, and if this is set in the same universe, which it clearly is, you got to give the man. And Anya Taylor-Joy is an inspired choice to play a young Furiosa. I think this movie's going to blow our socks off, and it's not what people. You give the man an opportunity. You want to see a fantastic movie that doesn't get enough credit? Go back and watch Lorenzo's Oil, a movie he made. Fantastic film. I mean, he's somebody to watch. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I can't wait that we're getting a 5th Mad Max movie, a young Immortan Joe. It's, you know, you can't just lump it in.
What is the release date, Rob, for the movie?
I don't know. Yeah, it's next year. But the fact that we're getting another, I mean, he's getting up there in age too. I mean, he's close to 80. And Mad Max came out in, I think I saw it in 79. I was 12. You know, and the fact that we're getting another movie, you go, George Miller.
Yeah, totally.
So,
totally.
Yeah, I just, you know, I don't, look, complain about this stuff after it comes out and lets you down. So, that's what I always say.
Yeah. I have a lot of stuff to show, so I would say,
all right.
Let's start. Let's
go. Go ahead, brother.
What
you got?
I showed it already. Of course, the Oppenheimer Steelbook. Rob, what is happening in the States with being sold out? You know, the movie. Even Thomas Logan said to me that Best Buy employees bought the Steelbook away from the customers. You know, so they could sell it on the eBay. You know, for more.
And even though I think that's unethical and they should stop doing that, you know what? First of all, this was one of the most. Here's the thing. This is a film. Christopher Nolan's movies are known for their technical achievements. The movie made basically $1 billion, and it's going to be perhaps one of the home theater releases of the year. And the idea that they sold out of this movie shows you everything that's wrong with Hollywood now. If there's a way for Hollywood to leave money on the table, they'll figure it out. You know, and then they'll wonder why their stock price is tanking or whatever. And it's like, look, I understand Universal, but this is a movie that you should have anticipated the physical media crowd would want. And, it is sold out. And it'll have to go. They'll make more, of course. But the problem is there's so few pressing facilities left in the world that they're all booked up. Like if you want to press 4Ks or Blu-rays, I don't even think that now I could be wrong about this. I don't know if there's a pressing plant in Mexico. I don't even know if there's one in the United States. I don't know if any.
Weren't the US to Estes always pressed in Mexico, Rob?
Not always, but
Okay.
but I mean we don't have one here anymore, and I think it's kind of a bummer, and again, hey, you want to leave money on the table? If there's a way for studios to not make money, they'll figure it out. I mean, hey, let's
losing money will find its way.
Yeah. Let's rather than release a $70 million movie that's getting above 90% in test screenings, let's just not release it and take a $30 million write-off on it. Like, why would you do that? It's just, I'm baffled. The people that are running the entertainment business are running it straight into the ground. And this is another example. It's another example of somebody not thinking, oh, perhaps, I don't know, if we're still putting out physical media, might this be a title that everybody who's still buying physical media will buy? Apparently no one thought that. So, go right ahead, right before the holiday season, right before Christmas, one of the biggest physical media titles of the year, you didn't print enough. Because you're stupid.
But we have that scalper situation. And I say, Rob, people, just go internationally. You will find the Oppenheimer Steelbook, Amazon Italy, Amazon Germany. Yes, there is some shipping costs extra, but it's way less than to pay some $150 on eBay. That's just insane. Okay, Rob, we all know it was Black Friday, and so I got some stuff for Black Friday. The first one, a nice Steelbook that I always had my eye on, even I find the show actually pretty in the middle of the road, but it will get a second season. I think it starts in February, but I always had my eye on the Halo Steelbook 4K, because even if I wasn't that big of a fan of the show, what I really liked was just the design of the suit of Master Chief, which was really one-to-one. And it came, unfortunately, they don't fit into the Steelbook. It came with some art cards, which was nice. So we have, of course, the Master Chief itself. Aliens. We have some nice art cards. But I waited till the Steelbook dropped a little bit in the price. And during the Black Friday sales, I finally got it. And strangely enough, it came with a month of the Game Pass included. So 1 month more playable the stuff that is in the Xbox Game Pass. So Halo, just put it aside here. Steelbook here, Game Pass here. Next one, Cat in the Bag, Rob. The first Cat in the Bag. Kill Mode. Fight for the future, Rob.
Dude. Okay, there we go.
Kill Mode, Rob. Kill Mode. Doesn't it look? Rob, it says, let me just see. To save the world, we must stop the virus. It says on the back. You can just see. Yeah, it is an English production. Kill Mode. Okay. First Cat in the Bag. Next Cat in the Bag. Sounds cool. With Randy Couture. It's called Midnight Zombie Massacre. It says zombies versus wrestler. And since Rob was on the showdown, performing as a wrestler character itself, perhaps it could be good. Cat in the Bag, Zombie Midnight Massacre.
Of course.
A Black Friday deal was the House of the Dragon box set.
Ooh.
But it's still wrapped, Rob, because since I rearrange a little bit here, I did find out already have it, Rob. I bought US. So this
Dude,
will
that's
go to my
embarrassing. I
niece.
wouldn't have even mentioned that.
So this will go to my niece as a present gift on Christmas. If she doesn't want it, it will go back. So it still need to stay sealed. So House of the Dragon. And besides House of the Dragon, I waited for the price to drop to The Last of Us, first season. Rob and I read the second season already starting in February.
Yeah, buddy.
With the first show.
Yeah,
And I've always,
boy.
if possible, I always look for an edition who doesn't only have the 4K, who just has the Blu-rays too. Which is actually a preferred version if I could have the Blu-rays too, because the Steelbook versions, as far as I remember, only contained, if you bought the 4K, just the 4K version. Speaking of Halo actually being middling, the next thing that I bought, which I thought was actually middling, but there was a nice US 4K Steelbook with Joel Kinnaman, who was out in the theater with Silent Night, Sympathy for the Devil with Nicolas Cage, and it got a great review considering the picture, and it comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray 2. I only watched it first digitally.
Does Nicolas Cage ever say, please allow me to introduce myself in that movie ever?
I don't think so, Rob.
Okay.
It would be a fitting dialogue, but I don't remember it. Have to watch it again for a second time to reevaluate my take on Sympathy for the Devil. The next one, Rob, I believe you are waiting for the second side edition. I quite enjoyed the cover of the Criterion. I bought Martin Scorsese, Mean Streets, and I think you are waiting for the second side release.
Yes, dude. I believe that Second Sight. It's one of those companies where I don't care if I've bought something 6 times. If Second Sight releases it, I'll buy it. Listen, let me go right now and just say that, not to disparage Criterion, but if it comes out on Second Sight, wait.
You lose.
You people wait. And you go to Second Sight and you write them and you say, Rob Burnett says from Let's Get Physical Media to buy stuff. By the way, Choppa, Ginger Snaps, the trilogy, Mean Streets, High Tension. Although that's been
gotten a little bit postponed.
It got a little bit postponed. You know why? Because Second Sight will not put out anything until it's fucking perfect. That's why. And one of the biggest releases of next year that I can't wait for, even though they don't get to put it out first, The Hitcher, dude. Now, I know you did get me The Hitcher media book.
And the German Blu-ray has a good picture quality.
It does, but you know what's going to have a better picture quality? Second Sight.
Yeah, I know, Rob. Yeah. Put it right.
Second Sight, man, and they're going to give you that. I mean, look, I know people are going to say, well, Rob, you just say that because they put out your single greatest physical release of any movie ever. It's true. They did. But you know what? When someone earned your loyalty through a consistent level of releases, I'm just saying. So Criterion's Mean Streets, by all means. But buy Second Sights. Go to Second Sight and buy Mean Streets. And I know people are going to be like, but Rob, I can get it at half price at Barnes & Noble or one of their flash sales on the Criterion website. I don't care. You're not supporting Second Sight if you're doing that. You can go buy Days of Heaven. I'm all about that. 4K. Days of Heaven. You go buy that. But you go to Second Sight's website and you buy not just Mean Streets, just buy everything. Buy everything they put out, even if you don't like it. Just buy it anyway.
It's not released yet, I believe.
No, pre-order it. And forget you bought it, and then when it shows up in the mail, you'll be like, ooh. Because even the way they package their I don't know what elves they have working over at Second Sight, but when they package your discs, Oppenheimer could detonate a bomb on their packaging and nothing would happen to your discs. I'm just saying, you go Second Sight. By the way, this is not a paid endorsement. This is a personal endorsement. I love Second Sight. You go to their website, go buy their stuff. And you know what? If they only have Region B, that means you go buy yourself a multi-region player just so you can play Second Sight discs. You know what
We
I'm saying?
don't think about the region 3 stuff, Rob. I've always forget about
Second
it.
sight, buddies. By the way, if you want to send me free stuff, I just believe in buying it. Bye. Bye.
The next one, last week, Rob would actually have Cliff Stevenson on the show, who did produce the special features for the next one. I bought, of course, Saw X as a big fan of the franchise. Comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray, and I watched it yesterday, and I have to say, Rob, good movie, because I like the franchise.
Yep.
But I was expecting a little bit more, considering the score and everything. The problem for me, Rob, a little bit. Have you seen Saw X?
Not yet.
No.
I just watched Cliff's documentary.
Rob, do you want to get spoiled already, Rob?
His documentary is great, by the way.
Yeah, totally, as always. 90 minutes for Saw X,
dude.
He couldn't let that the Hills Run Red Blu-ray slide. No. That was probably I have to up the ante. So considering Saw X, if I would go back to the start of the franchise from 2004, the reverse beer trap, if I remember correctly, she only had to get out a key from a person who was still alive but couldn't move. But now at Saw X, we really are deep into self-mutilation to get the job done,
Yeah.
So you really have to, the believability is a little bit stretched, Okay, if they wouldn't go there, then okay, that considering the traps, and Jigsaw is of course ahead of the game, but still a good movie, and some really bloody stuff in it too. And it made, I think, Rob, over 100 million worldwide, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get another entry in that franchise. The next one up, I don't know if you can help me out here. I don't know. It's a blind buy for me. It's 2 movies, Japanese movies. They are called The Door. The Door 1. And
I have not seen those. I have not seen those movies, but they have Japanese girls in them, so I'd watch it.
And you could reverse the cover artwork, which because there is the movie The Door 2 on it too. Rated 18, Rob. Sexual threat, strong bloody violence. The 2 things.
That's dude. Sold.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. The Door from Third Window films. Rob, I know you're not a big fan of Steelbooks. Are just taking an iconic image of the movie and putting that on the Steelbook. But I think this is really nicely done. I bought The Fugitive in 4K, the Steelbook. So perhaps not the best, but I quite enjoy the design.
Well, it's a more interesting disc than the American release. The cover, the American montage cover. I mean, again,
but I quite enjoyed that cover too, Rob.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's cool. But again, is that the UK version?
Let me just check. Rob. I have to. Yes. Exactly, Rob.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's another thing that I do not understand. The Warner Brothers UK is crushing their releases. I mean, whether they're putting out Citizen Kane and Casablanca in their beautiful slip-cased versions, or they're giving us that Fugitive Steelbook, they're crushing their American counterparts. Again, the people that are doing first run releases at Warner Brothers, what the fuck are they doing? I don't know. I mean, you know who had the most lackluster 100th anniversary ever as far as physical media goes? Warner Brothers easily had the worst, most lackluster 100th anniversary ever, unless you go across the street to Disney, that had the very worst 100th anniversary ever. I mean, gosh, they could have released, I don't know, They have the Fox library. Where's Singing in the Rain in 4K? Where are the Planet of the Apes movies in 4K? Where's Walt's greatest achievements in live action, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Mary Poppins? Both had beautiful box set Laserdisc releases. They should have brought those back, those Disney releases, and made banger. No, they didn't do that. And do you know what Walt Disney Home Entertainment is working on besides the James Cameron movies? Nothing.
No,
nothing.
Oh,
they're not working on anything.
I should have known that.
The Fox titles, 100th anniversary, they've acquired Fox. I would celebrate the fact that they acquired Fox. You know, they're not making Star Wars movies. You know, they're just making cartoon TV shows. Thank God for Andor. But, you know, let's complain about Warner Brothers, you know, and complain about Disney, because what are they doing? Where's Barbarian? Where's The Empty Man? Why don't you give those a second sight? I don't understand these companies at all. Oh, our stock price is down. Yeah, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. 100th anniversary, my ass. Where's Excalibur in 4K? Where's Barry Lyndon in 4K? And if you're going to give it to Criterion, which you should, why isn't it out for your 100th anniversary? Don't know.
As a critical drinker would
Yeah,
say.
as a critical drinker would say, where's Contact? Where's Contact? 100th, we got UAP press conferences. We got bipartisan members of Congress doing press conferences on UAP, but you can't get Contact in 4K. Why not? That was one of your big DVD launch titles. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And especially Contact with, you know, the travel scene, you know, showing off your 5.1 surround system. You know,
yeah. Oh, by the way, if I may.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about Warner Brothers, I would just like to mention George Feltenstein and the folks over at Warner Archive, the division of Warner Brothers that really understands physical media. Rapa Nui, dude. Kevin Reynolds, Rapa Nui. This disc is a banger. Banger. Does this disc look good? Yes. Yes, it does. You know, I don't know if I would say watch this with Apocalypto, but this is a great movie. It's great to have this presentation on Blu-ray. This is awesome if you like this kind of thing. You know, Kevin Reynolds. This is Kevin Reynolds who did Waterworld. You know, he did this. It's great. Rapa Nui is great. They also put out. It's very funny. Love and War. This came out from Warner Archive. Richard Attenborough directed this. You know, it's Chris O'Donnell and Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
You know, 90s studio output. But still, Richard Attenborough directed this movie. It's nice to have this film. I watched both of these. Another great-looking disc. So these came from Warner Archive. This is what Warner Archive, Rapa Nui, you know, because George and the boys and the girls over there at Warner Archive, they think about, what interesting, great Warner titles can we, you know, remaster, and put out on disc that can then be exploited on HBO Max or just Max. And this is a perfect title for that. This is an example of why Warner Archive knows what they're doing. Why don't they the people at Warner Archive love home video? Why don't they just put Warner Archive in charge? It's already branded. Like, Warner Archive doesn't have to be, it can be movies from 5 years ago. Just make Warner Archive, just make them in charge of all the physical media output. Why they don't do that, I do not understand. I'll tell you something. If you went to David Zaslav and asked him, hey, what do you think of Rapa Nui? He'd look at you and go, what?
What are you talking about?
Oh, you know, Kevin Reynolds. Who's Kevin Reynolds? You know, Fandango? Don't know what that is either, right? But we've released it. You could watch it if you want. No, just make Feltenstein totally in charge of all the physical media releases. Figure out what those other little minion executives can do and give them something to go do. Because you know what they're not doing? They're not doing their fucking jobs. The Warner 100th anniversary, I know I'm harping on it, but I'm just saying, if you're a fan, you want something that looks good and interesting, Rapa Nui, man, put it right up next to your Apocalypto disc. Actually, don't, because they're not advertised correctly.
Is Rapa Nui came before Waterworld or after? I don't remember.
After.
Exactly. After, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I will show two more And then I give it over to Rob. This one was a Black Friday sale, and I haven't seen the movie in quite a while. I bought from Turbine, the German media book.
Dude,
Bad Boys
okay, can we talk about this movie? This movie...
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Dude, it fucking rules. It fucking rules. Bad Boys. First of all, Rick Rosenthal directed that. Rick Halloween 2 Rosenthal directed it.
Yeah.
And obviously Sean Penn, Esai Morales, Clancy Brown is in that movie. He's a young prison inmate. This movie is in, and Ali Sheedy plays Sean Penn's girlfriend who gets raped. That's how Esai Morales gets thrown in juvie with him to beat the shit out to go kill him. Bad Boys is amazing. Is that in 4K?
Yeah. Unfortunately not, Rob, but it comes with the US version, which says uncut. Then it's a German theatrical version, which is probably shorter. And the third disc, let me just check, Rob. I think it's the soundtrack. The third one is, let me just see. Yeah, the score. The third one is.
And Rennie Santoni, who's like the prison, the prison, like guidance counselor.
So this came out with different cover motives. So this was not the only one. You could get different variations of the movie, but it's not 4K. It's just a Blu-ray movie I haven't seen in a long.
Dude, that movie's over 40 years old. It's so good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good.
Normally, I don't push movies on Rob to get. Sometimes I buy stuff that I know so that he has Bang Boom Bang in his collections, even if he hasn't time to watch it. But I have a clear conscience that I know he has the movie, and I'm seldomly try to push movies on him, especially The Cat in the Box. But I watched the movie this week, and I said, bro, dude, gotta get this movie. And I saw that it will come out on Tuesday in the States, and I hope Rob has already pre-ordered. I said, don't watch anything, don't watch any trailers, and especially don't read anything, because I was very upset when I went to Amazon and read the description, which didn't spill the beans, but it did go where the movie will probably end up. And I'm talking about the Spanish movie Elderly. You know, Rob, I don't know if we...
That's a great cover.
Count ourselves as elderly already with one foot in the grave. You know?
Fuck no. Come on, man.
This came from Lighthouse. Actually, it's a limited edition media book. It's a Spanish movie. And I only will tell you a little bit about the beginning of the movie. An older woman commits suicide at the beginning of the movie, and her husband gets to live with the son. They have a little bit of an estranged relationship together, and I won't tell you anything more, Rob, because I didn't know where the movie would be going, and I was totally surprised. And I can only hope, Rob, you have ordered the American version, which comes out on Tuesday, which is a little bit, bit expensive, but I hope the price will drop to the release date.
I
so
did,
Rob,
because you told me about it. I don't know anything. I didn't read anything about it.
Yeah, nice, Rob. And I hope you will enjoy it as much as I do. And considering, Rob, I watched, okay, how is it on Rotten Tomatoes again? You know, way over 90. But this is, once again, a movie where I think my line is, of course, my 0 to 10, a 6 is the frontier where I say, okay, it's fresh, or it would be rotten. Even with some criticism about the movie, how can you not get to a 6 out of 10? Even with Godzilla -3, how can you not even get to that 6 out of 10? Get it to a fresh. But Rob, I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Spanish movie, big recommendation from my end, Elderly. So this was my first haul.
Well, sounds good. Let me just read. We have a few. Stubble McShave writes in, firing in a couple of tips. Stubble says, I wonder what the financiers are saying to the studios after Godzilla -1, since it costs less than 1/10 of a big studio movie. They must be asking some tough questions right now, I think. Well, look, the problem is this. The problem is the studios are no longer in the business of making a $15 million movie that might make $100 million or $200 million in profit. That's what a company like Blumhouse would do. The studios are playing this Wall Street game where they want to spend $100 or $200 million and return $1 billion. Because after all, that's what they're doing. The problem with that is you end up having to spend $100 million or $150 or $200 million. And to me, it's like, if you're a movie studio and your job is to make money and you have a streaming service, if you could make $15 million movies that gross $100 or $200 million and you do that 10 or 20 times a year, and then you're feeding your streaming service, I mean, it should all work in synergistically. But that's not the business that they're in. And I think in a way that should be the business that they return to, because Oppenheimer was only $100 million. I say only $100 million movie, but that movie, that was
these days it is only $100 million.
Yeah, only $100, and that movie, exceeded all expectations. But when you have somebody like Christopher Nolan, the same thing was true of Dunkirk. Warner Brothers was giving him Dunkirk, like, okay, we'll give you Dunkirk because you've made so much money for us. And that movie made $500 million about a truly British World War II story. But because Christopher Nolan is a master filmmaker, he's able to create epic drama even out of a historical film because of the way he told the story. And I think that's the business of if you want to keep movies alive and vibrant, just making IP properties is not going to work. I mean, remember, Barbie was based on a toy, and it is an IP property. But if you didn't have Noah Baumbach and you didn't have writing that with Greta Gerwig, and Greta Gerwig bringing an auteurist vision to what Barbie was, it wouldn't have become the success that it is. And the lesson should be, I mean, I don't think they spent $225 million making Barbie, and look at that return. And I think the studios need to take a good long look at it, and we'll see. So, yes, Stubble, I think they have to take a good long look at it. And Stubble goes on to say, a problem with Amazon Studios is that it's too big for synergy within the company. For example, it would stand to reason to capitalize on the success of The Boys with making games and other merchandise based on that property, but apparently the different arms of Amazon don't talk. Well, I would say this. I mean, obviously it was announced that we're getting a third Boys series, The Boys Mexico, when you're going to see a reteaming of the talent from Itumama Tamien coming back and creating The Boys Mexico, which I think is going to be bonkers. I think it's great, but maybe they'll have some synergy there. But yeah, I think you're right. But I'm happy that, look, Gen V was great, and it's The Boys the fourth season of The Boys looks like it's going to be great. I just want them to concentrate. You have to concentrate on your core brand before you decide to build your universe. Make your show great, and The Boys has been consistently good. Gen V was good. It looks like so. And
I read, Rob, Jack Reacher is already greenlit for a third
greenlit, season. Yeah, and that scene they released from. I love Jack Reacher. I can't wait to see season 2.
Can't wait. Yeah.
And again, based on Lee Child's novels, and Alan Ritchson as Jack Reacher's great. He's the way the character was described in the novels. So, so that's pretty great. Paulus Plain writes in, Job, A Comedy of Justice is a novel by Robert Heinlein published in 1984. Oh, yes, I have the first edition hardcover. I got that book when it first came out, 40 years ago. That's crazy. But it's also a very good book. Alexander Dukas says, I hope you received the disc I sent to Bettendorf, Iowa. I don't know if I have it yet. I'll have to ask Mike. I don't think so. But, yeah. 1001 Johnny sends in a tip and says just waiting to celebrate and brag of the physical media that I ordered over Thanksgiving weekend that arrived yesterday. The Jack Kirby Omnibus, The Bronze Age. I love the Jack Kirby omnibuses. I have most of them. but I don't have the Bronze Age, but I have the Fourth World Omnibus, which is huge, and the Commandy Omnibus and stuff like that. But I'm a big fan. Speaking of that, the first piece of physical media I want to show, I keep meaning to show this, but I forget, is a book.
Nice.
Max Avery wrote this, a masterpiece in disarray. This is a chonky boy. This is an oral history. If you can see the eye, you might understand. Yeah. This is an oral history of the making of David Lynch's Dune.
Oh, okay.
And if you bought the Coke version, which I didn't because Dieter got it for me, it's one of my favorite releases. They're re-releasing it in a different form. This is a great book. And it's one of these oral history books where the interviews are intercut. I mean, this is somebody's, they talk to everybody. This Mr. Max Every, this was a labor of love. And if you have any interest in not just Dune, but filmmaking at all, this is an essential book. Just came out in a hardcover. It's really, really good. And if you want to delve into the making of movies, this, my friends, I give this my highest recommendation. And it's one of those oral histories, so this is great bathroom reading. If you set this in the bathroom, you can pick this up and read for just a couple of minutes and get something out of it. But I tore through this book. Really, really good. It's a nice hardcover volume. It even comes with, look at that, the nice colored, the foil. They spent some money, and it has a bookmark in it. So if a book has a bookmark in it, really great version. It's $30. Highest recommendation. Get this book.
Nice. Especially, Rob, if I will get to the live chat later, one asked about books about how to do film stuff, and it's already a recommendation from you.
Yeah, totally. Now, once again, I have to say, speaking of Kino Lorber, I guess they're an official sponsor because they send me stuff. Kino Lorber had an incredible week of releases. And I have to give it up for and I know that I don't know how they do it. I'm sure some people, Kino Lorber pisses some people off. But the movies they choose to release, such a wide variety of, you've got silent movies coming out from some of our great silent filmmakers, you and actors and actresses, and then you have indie films. They put out this week 2 indie movies that I love. This was from the 80s, Tokyo Pop, Frank Kazui's Tokyo Pop. I remember seeing this in the mid-80s. I want to say I saw this at the Seattle Film Festival. This is a great indie movie, and they also put out Fruit Chan's Made in Hong Kong, which both of these are one takes place in Japan, one takes place in when China took over Hong Kong. And this movie was famously made with lots of short ends, low budget indie. But, I don't know if anyone would be putting this stuff out, and Kino Lorber is putting this stuff out on a weekly basis, and it's absolutely great. Both of these movies are worth seeing. Terrific films. So I was excited about those. Now, let me just grab this amazing. Now, again, they put out some movies that the Milestone Cinematheque, which I haven't even seen, a movie called The Exiles. Haven't even seen it. Yeah. But again, indie cinema, Goodbye Dragon Inn, which I have seen, another great. This is very much worth seeing. They put that out. Wait, I won't show you these yet. Yeah. And then, hang on. Now, here's a movie. Now, I know that I've never seen this movie. I've wanted to see this movie my whole life, but I never have seen it.
Now it's the time.
It's based on F. Scott Fitzgerald's book, The Last Tycoon. It's about Hollywood. It's written by Harold Pinter. Ilya Kazan directed it. Now I've heard, and De Niro stars in it, like A-list all the way. I've heard it's not so great. Don't care. I've always wanted to see this movie. This is from a new HD. It's from a 4K scan of the 35 millimeter camera negative. Now, it's both black and white and color. It's from 1976. Now, okay, so here's the slip cover. It's got an O-ring, but I just would like to point out.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
The cover artwork.
Yeah, but not only that,
Your third one, Rob.
a third cover.
Oh, that's always a tough choice. Okay.
Yes, it was a tough choice, and I went in and so they have given this basically, it's not 4K, but they've given this the A-list treatment, Kino Lorber. It's really interesting because when it comes to Kino Lorber, when I opened this up and I thought, ooh, like you never know what they're going to do. The fact that and I finally get to see this. I'm actually probably going to watch this today because I was going to go to the convention, the Comic-Con, but I can't. But so Kino Lorber put this out, and again, you get the O-ring, the slipcase, which is dope. And then, I mean, they put out, this is a movie that I loved when I saw it. John Borman, Mr. Excalibur himself, The Emerald Forest, with Powers Booth and his son, who played Mordred in Excalibur, Charlie Borman, who we've seen recently in the documentary series. Charlie Borman went with Ewan McGregor on that motorcycle. Yeah. So he stars in this movie with Powers Booth. And I love the Emerald Forest. I love the, again, they've got a lot of stuff coming out of the MGM library. I haven't even opened this yet, but I always love the Emerald Forest. I actually made a short film in college, and I used, because the Emerald Forest, Seattle's the Emerald City, so I used the music. I went and did sort of a tone poem about what I loved about Seattle when I was in college, and I used the music from this movie to score that. So
a new scan, Rob? Just quick, new scan?
You know what? I don't know if it's a new scan or not. It doesn't say. They always say if there's a new scan. This might not be a new scan. And I'll tell you something else. They also put out, which Elizabeth and I watched, Milos Forman's Valmont, which is another retelling of Dangerous Liaisons. Now, this says brand new HD master from the 2K scan. I think this is only 2-channel stereo. Because when I put this on, I was annoyed by the fact that there's not a 5.1 mix on it. Or maybe there is, but I don't know. This not the greatest transfer in the world, but it's not their fault. But I still really love this movie. Annette Bening. If you
should there be, Rob, a 5.1 track for this movie?
I don't know. Probably not. Maybe it's only a 2-channel stereo. I don't know. But Milos Forman, director of Amadeus and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I really love this movie. It's really great. It's a different kind of movie than Glenn Close and Dangerous Liaisons, but this is a great movie. And Elizabeth and I were watching it, and she was loving it. She'd never seen this. Again, Kino Lorber putting out the heat. It's a Milos Forman movie. Get it? Now, again, this is all in the same week. I can't stress enough. This is the same week. This is a terrific movie. It is a new version of Bertolucci's The Conformist, which is an incredibly important film. And their Raro version. Again, Kino Lorber has these different versions of things. This is chock-a-block full of bonus features. If you haven't seen this film, it's an important film. Again,
doesn't look like a Kino Lorber release.
No, this is like their foreign release, multiple formats. It's got a little booklet in here.
Yeah.
With a note from Martin Scorsese. It's in there. If you haven't seen The Conformist, you should. Bertolucci is one of our great filmmakers. He didn't just make Last Tango in Paris or The Last Emperor. The Conformist is a movie you should all have in your collection. This is a great version. It's not in 4K, but it is a 4K restoration from the original camera negative. And the special edition release, they include the 2011 HD restoration as well, so you can compare it. And in terms of, this is a 70s masterpiece, highly recommended. Kino Lorber, remember, all this stuff came out in the same week. All this stuff. Now, they also released number 4 in their Kino Cult series, which is another Jess Franco movie, Sinner, The Secret Diary of a Nymphomaniac. Now, you know, I don't think this has. Yeah, it doesn't have a reversible cover, but you know, Kino Cult, another label, and Jess Franco. A film by legendary cult director Jess Franco, the diabolical Dr. Z, Venus in Furs, Count Dracula, the erotic rites of Frankenstein, made at the height of Franco's creative prowess. Sinner, Secret Diary of a Nymphomaniac is a grindhouse Citizen Kane.
Ooh.
A moody tale of one woman's sexual evolution and shocking demise told through the eyes of those who knew her. So there you go. I mean, Rosebud. But when they say Rosebud in this movie, they're not talking about a sled. No, I'm kidding. They don't say Rosebud. Anyway, I have not watched this, but it does say that Sinner reveals unexpected layers of narrative and emotional complexity, demonstrating why Franco remains one of the most underappreciated filmmakers of European cinema. And this is chock-a-block full of special features. So again, you go, Kino Lorber. Come on. Fourth in their Kino Cult release. And then, of course, let's see, what else have they put out that I have here? I've already showed. The Piece de Resistance, #1. 4K of Fred Decker's The Monster Squad. Again, they've also got the big documentary from 2008, Wolfman's Got Nards. They have also this cover, or you can, if you want, you can. You've got a reversible cover. So there's this cover, or there is this cover, which is a little different. Which I actually should probably go with this cover because
because the O-ring has the other.
That's right. The O-ring has the other. So I'm put this in there, and this is a 3-disc set. Again, Kino Lorber has been putting out all of these titles. And this has Dolby Vision, and it's in 4K. Yeah, I know, right? So, Kino Lorber, once again, putting out the beloved... Oh, I just put this in the wrong way because I'm an idiot. But Kino Lorber definitely is... I know, I just... I did it the wrong way. So, 4K of Monster Squad, which is amazing, which is awesome. And so thank you, Kino Lorber, for putting this out. This movie is highly enjoyable. One of the characters wears a Stephen King Rules t-shirt that I've always wanted to get, but never have. And now they've also put out a few more things. They put out a Buster Keaton collection, Volume 5. That came out if you want that. And the other things they put out, and I love, this is, if I can get this stuff. They also send me DVDs. Things on usually documentaries. So I don't know what this is, but
a lot of cat in the bags, Rob.
Subjects, documentary called Subjects. A documentary on Tom.
Is that a loudspeaker? What is on that cover?
I think it's a camera lens.
Camera lens.
Yeah, camera lens. I love Tom Wolfe. He wrote The Right Stuff. Radical Wolf, the documentary on Tom Wolfe, which I haven't even seen. The story of the Peace Corps, A Towering Task, came out. Now, this was crazy. So do you remember Redemption, the UK company Redemption, that would put out like Jess Franco movies and horror movies, and they put out John Rowland vampire films? They sent me this title, a Redemption title, Far from the Apple Tree. And this is Redemption, and I was buying Redemption Laserdiscs. I do not know anything about this movie. This is a total cat in the bag. It says number 11, so is that part of their Redemption series? I don't know. A lot of extras on this. This is Judith, a struggling art student who lands a dream job of working for a renowned and somewhat sinister visual artist. Judith's works involve cataloging the artist's video. In doing so, she discovers film sequences of a young woman, the artist's dead daughter, who looks exactly like herself. Ooh. So the tagline is, she's totally lying to you. Her daughter's dead. She killed herself. So, hey, don't know what that is. It's a Redemption title. I will watch it. Kino Lorber. Again, I'm staggered by what they put out. And then, of course, I got another box from Kino Lorber this week. And do you know what was in it?
The Columbo Syndrome.
The prequel, yes, that's right. The Columbo set, the prequel to Wings of Desire, the greatest German movie ever made. Peter Falk as Columbo. And again, I don't care that there are no special features. I think they I don't know what happened to the special features.
Yeah.
There are special features here. It's got the pilot. It's got everything in here. And I mean, look, Tom Jr. Jackson sent me these on DVD, which was very kind of him. But we all know this is 6 times better, Blu-ray. And Kino Lorber, come on. By the way, that is one of the great covers of. It's so good.
Totally.
But
and I want to contrast that title up with one that you already showed. And the 3 taglines are actually pretty fitting considering our physical media habits: obsessive, compulsive, and detective, searching for new stuff. I got Monk.
You did, yeah, which Kino Lorber put out too.
Yeah, exactly. Really looking forward to it because I always heard great stuff about the series, but I never have seen.
Oh, you're gonna love it. It's great. It's really good.
Looking forward to that one.
It's really good. So that was everything I got this week. All my other really interesting stuff. I will say this.
So I would say, Rob, I show some more, and then we can perhaps do the news. What will come out?
Yes. By the way, Irene Jobson sends in a super chat and says, she says she just wanted to give a shout out to me, Elizabeth, the puppies, Dieter, and his stripping pole behind your head. Your stripping pole. Happy holidays to you. And the pups, by the way, our new litter of puppies. We had 7.
How's the status, Rob?
The first one, first one went to a guy from San Diego who just got out of 5 years out of the U.S. Navy, just re-upped for another 6-year stint. Nicest guy in the world. He got a puppy. He took. He wanted a male, so he took our biggest male, Gandalf. Gandalf the Grey. His name's Joe. He took Gandalf the Grey and renamed him Theo, and that's right up our dog name. Our dog alley. Right up our alley in terms of dog names, because we've got Gilbert and Sebastian. So when he told us that he wanted to name the dog Theo, we approved. And of course, you can go to Gilbert and Tallulah's Instagram feed and see a picture of Joe with his new acquisition. So it's interesting. We were worried that people might not have wanted these puppies. They're all incredible. I can't stress enough, and they're gingerbread puppies. They look like gingerbread. They're so amazing. So I think somebody's coming over today to get one. It's very exciting, and it's so great to see people. When him and his mom came, the puppies, they pick you, and the puppies swarmed them when they came over. Because people come over and see the puppies, and it was really funny because Gandalf wouldn't leave Joe, like jumped on him, was just kind of sitting in his lap, and you just know
he made his choice.
He made his choice. Gandalf, aka Theo, made his choice, and it's really gratifying. You can see the picture on Instagram. You can see him holding him, and look at the smile on his face. I mean, it's the one thing about these puppies. I mean, some people have pushed back and they're like, Rob, there's so many dogs in shelters that look. I know, but the people that are going to take these puppies are not the people that are going to shelters to get dogs. These are very bespoke puppies. They're family puppies. The people have taken them. A lot of them have kids, and they're newborn puppies. And Elizabeth and I, have taken care of these puppies and socialized these puppies and pre-trained them. So they're unlike any other dogs you would normally get from a breeder, because we're not breeders. And we're not doing this again. So this is the last time.
You say that now, Rob. You say that.
No. I can't. It's too much work. But they're incredible. And plus, I can't. To be honest, I don't like the emotional turmoil. Like these, you get very attached to these puppies. And there's 2 girls that these girl puppies, codenamed Trixie and Snow White, the firstborn that I actually delivered. That you become very attached, and they become attached to you, and you don't want to give them up. So
and we don't want to have Rob going the John Wick way, you know.
Yeah, man. Oh, don't even know. Oh, I can't even. It's you know. Oh, couldn't do that.
Okay, Rob, some stuff that I got over the 2 weeks. Korean movie, totally enjoyed, from the director who did the Two Witch movie, Subversion, and the other one. A new action thriller from him. It's just called The Child. Chase of Madness. Very
Chase of
cool
Madness.
action thriller. And it will come out in America from Welgo, USA. I think in December too, with almost the same. I think it's even the same cover. The Child. Really nice action thriller from the director of The Witch. The next one, reviews are pretty mediocre, Rob, but we have a soft spot for Shara Butler. I bought Kandahar, the 4K.
That's a cool cover, though.
Steelbook. Yeah. So hopefully, Rob, it will be at least somewhat good. So Kandahar with Shara Butler and the director of Greenland. Shouldn't we get a sequel, Rob, to Greenland? Wasn't there something in the works?
Yeah, Greener Land 2, even greener.
Next one, Cat in the Bag media book, and I had to look how the original title of the movie actually is, because the German title is a little bit different again, Rob. The original title is Till Death Do Us Part, and in Germany it's actually The Bride that I would say has some balls. Till Death Do Us Part, Get in the Bag, Rob. So, but the picture looks fine to me. About what to expect from it, and it comes with 2 bonus DVDs. One is the movie, and one is especially bonus DVD.
Is that do I see that it's 18? It's rated 18.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. Exactly, you saw that correctly. And it is, once again, Rob, a limited edition, just 1,000 pieces of that media book. I don't know the economics, Rob. I don't know. Going back to one of our favorite Asian companies, which is 88 Films. I don't think I have shown this the last thing, but
it's a British company that's been putting out a lot of stuff.
Long Arm of the Law, Part 1 and 2 movies.
Mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law.
And I had no
demonetized. Sorry.
Of those movies, which come, of course, with their own cover artwork. Just put that aside. And I actually liked the second one better than the first one.
Wow. Okay.
So it comes with a booklet, and they are not really tied together considering any specific characters or something like that. So you can watch it totally separately and not being lost about the character. So this is the first one, Long Arm of the Law 1. And this one, the second. You could use the original Hong Kong cover artwork if you want to. And of course, 88 put the poster. Here are the original poster artworks, probably for both of them. You got Long Arm of the Law and the second one. And the series has, I think, even more sequels than only the second one. But like I said, I enjoyed the second one more than the first. The next one up was a Black Friday purchase, like Kandahar, little middling reviews, but I totally oversaw that the director is actually Martin Campbell. So I hope it's at least, because I liked this last one, Protégé. So I bought a Steelbook, no matter how the movie will turn out, Rob, but the Steelbook is a damn fine piece. I bought Memory with as a 4K Steelbook.
Ooh, that's a tasty looking Steelbook, buddy.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. It comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray, and Rob, it even has a booklet in it.
Wow.
No, so really, and these are really thick pages. And we have some, I think, from the production itself.
Yeah.
So this was a Black Friday sale, so not that expensive, but I really dug the look of it. And since it's Martin Campbell, he always makes good action thrillers, so I hope at least it will be enjoyable to some degree. Let me just see what I can show too. This one from America, from the Western Video Collector series, I bought Jamie Lee Curtis Blue Steel, which I think I don't own on Blu-ray to this day. So this is actually a first purchase for me.
Oh, dude, have you ever seen that?
Steel. Yeah, but back from in the VHS days, Rob.
But
I don't even know if I ever have Blue Steel on DVD.
Oh, yeah,
that's one movie that always were not.
Yeah, it was not out.
Gotten that often a release in general. I believe.
I have a question. That movie you just showed the child. Yeah. Was it The Child?
Exactly.
The Child. Okay, I just want to give a shout out to the Legolas, who's been a member of the channel for 8 months. Says, "Hey, Rob and Dieter, I highly recommend the new Korean movie The Child. Its story and action are impressive. The acting is sublime." Yeah. And also says, check out Anatomy of a Fall, too. I like to hear that the Legolas, who's been a member of the channel for 18 months, is watching foreign cinema from around the world. Always a good thing. Good. So thank you for that, the Legolas. Appreciate that. And, of course, Irene Jobson's been a member of the channel for 13 months. So thank you for that, Irene. So very cool. That's good to know.
Blue Steel. As a little bit of my second part of my haul for the last 2 weeks.
Well, there you go.
So I would say, do we have some news?
We do have some news. Obviously, we've already talked about the fact that Oppenheimer sold out.
Yeah.
But
not internationally, people. Look internationally if you want to steal.
I know that. Do you know next year's 1984? There's some great. I mean, Ghostbusters turns 40, Gremlins turns 40, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom turns 40, Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock turns 40. But you know what else turns 40? And we're gonna get a 4K release.
Help me.
Well, you got to cut loose, Dieter. Footloose. Oh, I forgot to add you back into the side. Here, let me put you back in. I was remiss. I apologize for not putting you back into the corner. Circle gets the square. No one puts Dieter in the corner. Come on now. No one does that, but apparently I did by accident, so I apologize. Let me just add you in. So here, look, check this out. It's amazing. There you're in the corner. So Footloose is in fact coming out in 4K. I love Footloose. Ren McCormick, Kevin Bacon. Who doesn't love Footloose? Great music, great dancing, and I love it. So
our Star-Lord loves it too, Rob. You know.
What's that?
Our Star-Lord.
Star-Lord loves it too. Ren McCormick, one of the great heroes. You know what else is coming out in 4K? Man, do I love his movies. Oh, wait, what? How did you disappear? Did I not add you? I added you in, but then you don't come back. Obviously, I didn't do it the right way. So allow me to once again. I send you away, and I apologize for that. I didn't mean to send you away. That's not nice, Dieter, and I apologize that I made you disappear. Let me make sure if I can bring you back again. I don't know why I made you disappear, but Brawl and Cellblock 99, Dragged Across Concrete, Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah.
Boy, do I love these movies. Are you a fan of Zoller's movies? I mean, are you into it?
Totally. Do we have anything new from him on the horizon?
I don't know.
That you know of?
That's a good question, but I quite enjoy these movies. I mean, they're not for everybody.
Unflinching movie.
Unflinching. Really liked it. And then we go all the way back to the Danish. Lars von Trier's The Kingdom series. They're putting out all 3 series in a box set. Haunted Hospital, I guess you could call it that. Which,
creepy cover.
Very creepy cover. It is a creepy cover. But yeah, there you go. So creepy cover coming out. The Kingdom, Lars von Trier, digging it. Then we also got, I'll just flat out say it. This is a terrible movie. Terrible, terrible movie to one of my favorite movies of the 80s. Beverly Hills Cop 3 is coming out in 4K. The Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 4Ks are terrific. And I will not be buying this. I am looking forward, however, to Axel Foley to celebrate Beverly Hills Cop's 40th anniversary. Why Beverly Hills Cop Axel, it's called Beverly Hills Cop AF, Axel Foley, get it? The thing about, I don't know why anybody would be a cop for 40 years. Don't understand. They better have a good reason. I don't know. But Beverly Hills Cop 3, if you want it, is coming out. Yeah. Then, of course, Kino Lorber.
And the fourth one is a Netflix movie.
Yes. Yes, like Dolomite Is My Name was, and like Coming to America. And then we've got from Kino Lorber, this is interesting. They're putting out a 4K of Scarlet Street, a German, Fritz Lang, with Edward G. Robinson, Joan Bennett, and Dan Duryea. I've never seen this. I'm a huge Fritz Lang fan, but between what Warner Archive has been putting out of Fritz Lang movies and Kino Lorber, we're getting that. And of course, not to be undone, you've got, I love the old, they go back to the classic artwork of the time. That's unmistakably Edward G. Robinson. But of course, you've got an O-ring and a cool slipcase. This is coming out in 4K. So they're putting this out. They've given it the extra treatment. And this week, I have to say, this is really, I'll get to the sales figures soon.
Yeah.
But, we didn't really, out of the blue, I didn't even know this was coming out. Vinegar Syndrome put out David Cronenberg's Existence.
Exactly, Rob. I only knew it because Terje, our man from Norway, did send me his shopping list from Vinegar Syndrome. And I thought, what did you buy? Existence? What? 4K? When did that title came out?
Out of the fucking blue. And, along with Second Sight, we love our Vinegar Syndrome. And, I wasn't going to do it. I went and got Mother's Day, and I went and got Blood-Sucking Freaks, and I went and got Mark of the
Magic
Devil.
Crystal,
and the
movies,
but that's
Crystal.
not 4K. But I was shocked because I'm a huge Cronenberg fan. Cronenberg is getting the 4K of the Shivers is amazing. That media book is amazing. But I Existence came out. Now I had that. I think was that Miramax?
Yeah, and it's one of those movies, Rob, where we're really looking forward to a new transfer.
Really looking, yes. And
this movie has always a rocky, shaky thing, considering their releases.
Yeah, and like renaissance of Cronenberg goodness. You got Arrow and Criterion both put out things like Videodrome. You had Second Sight recently put out Crimes of the Future. Now, we had those that release. There was the Blu-ray release and the 4K release from that smaller company, and then Second Sight. By the way, the only one you need is the Second Sight Special Edition. They put out that. Crash obviously came out as well. Yeah. So we're getting, and then the media book of They Came From Within from Germany, which I was able to get thanks to you telling me that, and. Then to get, I didn't even know they were Vinegar Syndrome. They secretly dropped that.
Yeah, it was a special, I think a special Black Friday.
Black Friday, it was a secret release. And
totally.
The one thing that I could only ask Vinegar Syndrome to do, I think a German company is putting this out, Liquid Sky. One of the things that Vinegar Syndrome put out, I thought Liquid Sky is coming out. I want to say there's going to be a German, I don't know if it's a media book. Someone's putting out Liquid Sky in 4K. I hope Vinegar Syndrome does Liquid Sky in 4K because they put it out on Blu-ray, which I never thought I would ever see because I thought the negative was lost. And again, Vinegar Syndrome is a company, their packaging, the special features, the care with they're a company, there was a problem with their Showgirls disc. You didn't even have to write in; they took care of it. And they're like, if you bought it from us, you're going to get a
even the booklet drop, which I would never have thought that it was a mistake in the booklet. Even.
They found a mistake in the booklet and they just shipped them both out. I mean, these are companies that do it upright. And when I also bought the box set that
the Prophecy.
No, you know what? I got to get those, but I'm like, I've only seen the first movie.
Yeah, the first one is great. I don't know about it.
Yeah,
I mean, but even the third two, the second and the third is in 4K.
I know, and I feel like if they're going to take the time that I mean, anyone that's putting out low budget genre fare in 4K, I think deserves to be supported. Because I'm waiting when I win the $1.5 billion lottery someday. I'm gonna like go to New York University and give them a $50 million endowment, and I want them to make the Robert Meyer Burnett genre studies wing. So all of these 4K discs I feel I need to buy, so when I pass away, I can donate them to my own genre studies wing at New York University or wherever I build my. This is of course after I win my $1.5 billion lottery.
Of course.
So that's part of the dream. So I have to go out.
You can say to everyone, go.
Yeah. I mean, you got, because when everyone has become so like eventually we're going to live in this world like the Pandaverse, the South Park Pandaverse. It's going to be like every exploitation movie that we collect, even owning those. Someone's going to say, that owning exploitation cinema is violence. And we're going to be like, uh-huh. So that's why I feel I need a repository of where all of these movies, like, hey, my 4K of Thriller, A Cruel Picture, when after I die, it needs to go somewhere because people need to see the X-rated version of They Call Her One Eye. I mean, kids today are these soft young kids. They don't know what they're missing. But so anyway.
I interrupted you. You told a box set. You bought
I bought this other box set. As a matter of fact, because it just looked so. It looked. So this box set, you know what the thing is though? They said both Severin and Vinegar Syndrome had their website shut down because of Black Friday. So let me see if I can.
And I think they have their partner label sales up now.
Yeah, they got their partners only. And again, you don't sleep on their partner only labels. Yeah. Because I found Bobby Roth's Heartbreakers, which I showed a long time ago, but really worth getting. They put out a box set, Vinegar Syndrome, of crazy movies, and I forget the name of it, but I bought it. And there's also isn't
that the one that Bill Hunt reviewed last night in the last night show?
That's
something
what it
like
is.
That.
That's what it is. And it's also got a great documentary and restoration on it. But, their partner labels like Deaf Crocodile is an awesome...
The Last Picture Show, something like that.
Yeah, the last, something like that. But there's all kinds of crazy movies in this box set. And they've done a great... I was like, I don't know if these movies are necessarily appealing to me, but a lot of good exploitation. Looks like a little bush porn from the 70s. I'm like, okay, I'm in. And Vinegar Syndrome will make it... They'll make it look great. So I picked that up, and I picked up Existence for, again, great deals. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome has great deals, and now they've got their partner label stuff up, so go check it out. Go to Vinegar Syndrome and patronize them because they deserve your patronage. And they've got some Umbrella Entertainment stuff up. They've got this movie called Sons of Steel that looks pretty good. So yeah, and also not to be outdone, but the Michelle Soavi movies like Della Morte, Della More, The Church, and The Sect, they put out that for Black Friday. That was a great package deal. Mike Mendez's The Convent with Adrienne Barbeau. So there was a lot of really cool exploitation cinema that was out there that went on sale on Black Friday. So there you go. I got that too. So yeah, that was pretty cool to get Existence. Now, in terms of sales figures, I got those out of the blue. Those are the Blu-ray discs. Here, let's get the overall bestsellers for the week. first. We'll check those out first. And so what do we have for the week? We have this is overall sales, of course. Number 1, Oppenheimer. Number 2, Barbie. Number 3, Super Mario Brothers. Number 4, The Expendables 4. Why anybody would buy that, I don't know. Number 5, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Number 6, The Equalizer. Number 7, Fast X. You know what? Even I didn't buy that. Number 8, John Wick Chapter 4. Number 9, Cliff Stevenson's great special features on Saw X. And number 10, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Then we've got top selling Blu-ray discs. Again, Oppenheimer, Barbie, Super Mario Brothers, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, John Wick Chapter 4, The Expendables 4, Fast X, The Equalizer 3, Transformers Rise of the Beasts, and Saw X. And finally, we have, that's the wrong one. We have top selling 4K discs, Oppenheimer, Fast X is number 2. Come on, people. What kind of taste do you have? The Super Mario Brothers
probably
movie.
Schnäppchen Rob during the Black Friday.
Yeah, it's probably a Schnäppchen. You're absolutely right. Transformers Rise of the Beasts, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, John Wick Chapter 4, Expendables 4, The Flash still hanging in there, Top Gun Maverick, and Interstellar. I'm convinced Interstellar will sell forever because on everyone's reels and stuff, they use that one piece of music from Interstellar that's you hear on all those videos that are on Instagram and stuff, which is a smart way to go. But yeah, Interstellar up there, all good. So that's my news. There wasn't a lot.
Oppenheimer three times at the number 1.
3-time number 1 across all platforms, which is great. But yeah, we're getting a lot of stuff. We're coming in hot. There's so many great titles coming out this month every week. Banger after banger after banger in 4K.
Totally.
So people are saying, banger, I didn't even know her. Sorry. I can't help myself. I'm terrible. But that's good stuff. Good stuff coming all over the place. Now there is something else I wanted to bring up in the news section.
Okay.
For those of you, as a matter of fact, Stubble McShave. I was just going to talk about this. Stubble McShave says, something that's topical for your show is how PlayStation users are losing their Discovery content. When deals and agreements are changed, you always have the rights to your physical media. So they sent out a notice to the PlayStation owners who had downloaded Discovery content, paid for it. It's going away. If you bought your Discovery content from Discovery via the PlayStation Store, you no longer own it. Bye-bye. Now, if you've Discovery with all their reality shows and their documentaries and things like that, because it's now Warner Brothers Discovery. So this happens a lot. This is why you need physical media. I do not trust. How many times have we seen digital services either go out of business or people not have, suddenly you've paid for things, and because, as Stubble says, when deals and agreements are changed, your material goes away. It vanishes. And we're seeing this happen more and more and more, and it's bullshit, but it's happening. So, and it's unfortunate. And look, I think even Christopher Nolan came out, talked about physical media, the importance of physical media. And I understand that people don't want to necessarily collect things. And even I've been grappling.
At least not that much, Rob.
Well, yeah. But it's getting to the point where I feel like, all the stuff I'm collecting, I'm kind of reaching a point where all the things I collected were motivating factors for me. When I was a kid, I was collecting things that I aspired to be a part of. Like when I was buying action figures, I aspired to one day hopefully create characters that somebody would want to make an action figure out of. That hasn't happened yet. But through my own physical media career, making documentaries and making movies that have come out on physical media, part of owning movies and all that fueled that desire. And I'm finishing up White Devils now, and I should mention that I did get, we're doing our audio drama we're going to crowdfund the main audio drama, but I've been doing a proof of concept version, and that is based on Max Allan Collins' Nathan Heller books. This is the most recent one that was released in October, 2 months. Too Many Bullets. This is the 19th Heller novel. This is set in the late 60s, where Nathan Heller is peripherally involved in the Bobby Kennedy assassination. And, well, not peripherally, but John Frankenheimer is a character in this book. But I got I now have the full on. It's not quite mixed. We're doing notes, but I got the you'll hear the proof of concept when we launch the Kickstarter for it. It's really exciting, and again, we're making stuff. So, but collecting things, like, how much more stuff do I want to collect? It's gotten to the point where now I feel I should start giving stuff away. But the 4K movies, the great thing about 4K, I feel, with discs is it's the end of the line. Like, 4K is the end of the line for physical.
Hopefully.
No, it will be, because they're not going to go back and remaster. Unfortunately, you could go, for gaming technology and virtual technology, we're going to get more and higher resolution. But for a TV, it wouldn't make sense to have 8K versions of movies unless they're 3D, and you can put them on a projector. And by the way, we're getting more and more projectors. I've been looking into this.
Yeah.
There weren't projectors that had Dolby Vision, but now there are. There's more projectors that are incorporating Dolby Vision things. So home theater technology is getting better and better and better all the time. So, the upscaling even of your DVDs looks pretty damn good now on certain TVs. So I will continue to collect movies.
Totally. Until we, sail away.
Set an open course for the Virgin Sea.
Yeah.
Because I've got to be free. Free to face the life of collecting that's ahead of me.
Where
on
do
board
we go,
on the
Rob? I have
captain.
still stuff to show.
Okay, so climb aboard.
The dreadful live chat.
We'll search for tomorrow on every shore, but we'll try. Anyway, sorry, you don't want to hear me sing Styx. Demonetized.
What do you want to go, Rob? Would you to see more, or should
show
I go
me more?
To the dreadful? Okay,
show me more.
I show you more. Okay.
Did you get very far?
From the Black Friday sales, I always had soft spots for the live action version of the movies, but I never seen the series of Death Note.
Ooh.
Animated series. So I hope King Tannic will be happy with me with my purchase of Death Note, a complete animated series.
By the way, King Tannic is next week.
Yeah.
I think next week Titanic, or is the week after? It's the 12th. It's the 12th.
I don't know the actual release date.
So it's a week from Tuesday, right?
Yeah. I think. So Death Note. And it comes with 2 movies for the series 2. There were 2 movies that they did. Animated stuff. Death Note. Next one, a Russian thriller, Rob, about a killer. Not have seen it. And I don't know the English. The English title, the German title is Hetzjagd. Let me just see if I can find out.
What does that even mean, brother? What does that word mean? Give us a German lesson.
Jagd is hunt, and Hetz is very fast, to be very fast. Let me just see if I can find out how the English title actually is for that movie. Damn, IMDb gives me a lot of other options here when I get in the German title. No, unfortunately, it doesn't give me another English title. So it's a Russian movie about a killer. It is, I believe, help me out. Wait, where does it stand? I think it is from the director who did Sputnik, the movie Sputnik, or at least the production team. So it comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD. Hetzjagd, and just see somewhere here that I found that it said the word Sputnik, I believe. So this was a reduced reduced price over Black Friday. The next one, another media book. I hope heard good things about it. Asian movie, cover looks dope. It's just called Mad Cats.
Yeah.
So I hope we'll have a good time with it. It says limited media book again. So no idea about the movie itself, and it's limited to 2,000. So let me just see what I have here too. The next one, I was pretty happy to get it. I think you have it on pre-order too. I'm not sure. I got the dual special.
Oh, I have to say, do you know who got me the dual special edition from the UK?
Emma Bannon?
The lovely,
Vixter?
Emma Bannon. No, the Vixter's helping me out, and I got my ladies. I got to go to the UK and visit my ladies. That's all I can say. I want to go hang out. I want to go to film festivals with the Vixter. I want to go party in Soho with the lovely Emma Bannon.
And you can get just simply the Steelbook, which looks totally dope too.
Yeah, so Emma Bannon hooked me up with that, and then the Vixter is helping me with other stuff.
Yeah. The dual, the great Spielberg movie. And what I didn't know, Rob.
By the way, do you know what I just realized?
Yeah.
I am going to London next month.
Ooh.
Bro. Yes, the Bobster. I'm going to go party with my London ladies. I'm going to go party with the Vixter and the lovely Emma Bannon. I'm going to get them both hammered. Maybe I'll go out, take them both out at the same time. Woohoo! Pull a Fredo. Oh, I'm kidding.
And it comes with,
Am I?
This is not easy to show, with actually a little bit of a storyboard card that Steven did, considering the shots of the movie.
The storyboard, yeah.
So when I watched the movie, I didn't detect it when I watched it, but I did watch the interview with Steven Spielberg, and he is actually in the shot where you see the telephone booth. You can see a reflection of him in the glass of the telephone booth.
Yeah.
Of Steven. So it comes with this added storyboard. We have here the poster artwork. So very, very different poster artwork. Never seen it. Jewel. And we have some lobby cards too.
Have you watched that new transfer?
Yeah, for me, great. Totally, and the sound is great. But I think I've read the sound was remastered.
Yeah,
even a little bit was already remastered.
Yeah, it was
at one point. Totally great. And Rob, what would that movie be if you would have done it in front of rear projection? You know?
No, it wouldn't be anything.
Yeah, exactly,
good.
Rob. Exactly.
Not good.
Exactly. And how we talked about how can Godzilla minus one look that great or be that great for 15 million, and how could you shoot Duel in 12 days, Rob? It's beyond me. It's beyond me.
Well, you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I would like, if I were a studio head, Steven would I would say, okay, you do it in the studio, you know, with rear projection, 12 days, okay. And then he would say, no, I want to go, I want to film it outside. Are you insane? 12 days.
Well, you know, it's funny because that's how they would normally do films, but it's become so expensive to do that. Yeah. You know, and it's just between permits and everybody taking their piece. Yeah. Exactly. It's just tough.
So, Jewel.
By the way, this is a good we got a few more as you get that out. Let me throw this out. Planet 628 has become an imagination connoisseur. And I believe I'm looking at Planet 628's avatar, and it looks like he has Ace from Megaforce. I think that's Ace from Megaforce, which is pretty dope. You know, the good guys
from
win.
The movie Megaforce?
Yes. Even in the 80s. It might not be, but it looks like from a distance.
Yeah.
I'd have to blow it up and see. But if shout out to new member Planet 628. Joey Johnson's been a member for 2 months. Thank you, Joey Johnson. And Joey Johnson goes on to say, will either of you be getting the Criterion of Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio? 100%. Come on, dude.
I would have to watch the movie first, but because I'm not really the Pinocchio guy, I will have to watch it on Netflix first to make up if I would buy it.
Yes.
I have to say.
Christian Sander sends in a super chat and says, when you win your $1 billion, will you please see to it that Deep Space Nine and Voyager are released on 4K? Thanks in advance. Yes. Now, I will say this. I can't say one way or another, but there are inroads being made, very serious inroads to getting at least Deep Space Nine out on Blu-ray. I mean, on they're going to remaster it in 4K.
You heard something through the grapevine, Rob?
Maybe, might have.
Okay.
But here's something that is concerning. This is concerning. They want to do it in 16:9, which is a big mistake. One, it was not in 16:9, and two, having already worked on the restoration of Next Generation, it's first of all, the show was not shot in 16:9. It was not protected for 16:9. It just wasn't, because at the time they didn't have 16:9 yet. And to alter the question that I would say is, who's left on the show? Unless you're going to bring back Marvin Rush, it was not shot that way. And if you look at the Berman era Star Trek shows, they used a lot of stacking in the way the shows were shot, in the sense that you've got people in the foreground and people in the background, because they really maximized those frames, the 4:3 frame. Okay. And a lot of the effects were made for 4:3. They please, everybody, watch our documentary on the box set, Energized, remastering the Next Generation documentary. Just look at that, because this idea that the studios are like, this is the dumb motherfuckers that are like, it wasn't made that way. And people are like, well, we have to make it palatable for modern audiences. No, you don't. They'll figure it out. Next Generation's 4:3, Deep Space Nine's 4:3, Voyager is 4:3, Enterprise 16:9, because the world was changing, which we've already done that. And don't make somebody reframe. I give you Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the single worst thing ever committed to HD, because it's terrible. They recolor time, remaster. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and I don't know why they're even thinking that. But there are inroads being made, serious inroads, to doing Deep Space Nine. You have to do it right. Everybody wants to do it with AI upscaling. Go back to the fucking negative. Recomposite the effects. They already did Next Generation correctly. Be like Next Generation. Do it right. Everyone wants to do it on the cheap. I understand that, but you know what? Do it correctly. Don't do it cheaply. Do it correctly. You're going to have this for the rest of eternity making money. Do it correctly. They won't. They want to do it. The fact that they want to do it in 16:9, it's like, fuck off. Like it wasn't.
It's not set in stone yet. Okay.
No, but it's like I've heard that's what they want to do, and it's like, guys, the show was not shot in 16:9. It wasn't protected for 16:9, despite what Marvin Rush may recollect. It just wasn't. And this idea, this is the thinking that is so wrong. These are people that would, the Mona Lisa, I don't like its aspect ratio. Let's turn it 16:9. We'll blow into the image and cut off the top of her head. It's just, people are stupid.
Rob, what's the situation with Babylon 5? Because Babylon 5 was actually in 16:9 shown.
Yes.
But the Blu-ray is 4:3 now.
Well, I haven't bought the complete series, but again, it was shot. It might have been protected for 16:9. Some of it was, but even when it was shot,
because the DVDs were 16:9, as far as I remember, from Babylon 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was they shot it for 16:9. I'm not sure. I'm not as up on my Babylon 5 production, but I know the box set came out. That and The Expanse came out, so I want to get that Babylon 5 box set. And the Doctor, I slept on that new Doctor Who box set only because I'm not but that's sold out, man. That's already selling on the secondary market for big bucks.
Wow.
So anyway, see, people get me all riled up with Star Trek. Where were we?
Are we done with the Super Chats, Rob? Are we caught up with Super Chats?
Yes.
Okay. So I will just get through, the live chat. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media.
Here it comes.
Tim Hens. Rob loses his beard and did start to grow his, only because I forgot to buy some razors, Tim. I told you that. Vixter 5001. Dieter, are we going to disagree about songbirds and snakes? I hope we didn't, Vixter. I know. I gave it a 7 out of 10. After the first viewing, perhaps after the second, can go up, down, or just stay where it was after the first one. Tim Hens. Rob donated his spear to Deeds. It has healing powers like the Golden Fleece. So I don't have to see Bug anymore. But Rob did. That's what you get for shaving Rob. Vixter 5001. I really like part 3, considering the Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's not a story about the games. It's an arc of the man. Equity Group. Dieter, spoken like scholar and a visionary. What is happening, Rob? What's happening? Roberto Suarez. I know the previous movies follow the books. I didn't know the prequel was a book as well. Yes, Roberto. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes is a book too, but it's only one book. I know there are talks about a trilogy, but it's just one book, just one movie. Leave it at that. Equity Group. Speaking of your audio drama, get Dieter to do the voice of the villain. It would kill. No, Rob wants to do it professionally, not trashy. Equity Group, we will not do that. Brogo, considering you played a little bit of the, I think perhaps I'm mixing the context because it's 2 weeks ago, Rob. Considering you played a little bit of the music for your project, Brogo. Oh my God, Rob, that was so good. Let's just say I'm turned on right now. Tommy Ricknell, are the rumors true that Second Sight is working on Pumpkinhead? Rob, I have heard nothing about that. Do you know anything?
I have not, but it wouldn't. If they are, I don't know. What I want from Second Sight.
Pumpkinhead already out in the States from Shout?
Yeah, Pumpkinhead just came out from Shout. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're working on Pumpkinhead. What I want Second Sight to be working on, in addition to, there's a couple of things. They banged out Dawn of the Dead and Martin. Please do Night Riders, George Romero's Night Riders. Please, 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 please. I also want them to do, of course, Near Dark. I don't know if I've heard rumors, maybe, but after The Hitcher, Near Dark, Pumpkinhead. If they put it out, I'd buy it because it's Second Sight. But I don't. Do they need to do Pumpkinhead? I don't know. They could do Martyrs.
Ooh.
I don't know.
But Rob, I would think Martyrs is probably shot just 2K digitally. I would think.
Yeah. No,
but you're right, Rob. They come out as attention. Inside is on the schedule, so only Frontiers they have put out. Martyrs is the only one that's missing from the 4 French Revolution horror movies.
Yeah,
Martyrs is the only one that Second Sight is at the moment missing. So perhaps you're onto something here.
It's funny. I don't know anyone at Second Sight. I'd love to have somebody. Hey, if Second Sight, they follow me on Twitter. I'm always, singing their praises. I don't know if they watch this show, but it'd be great to have somebody from Second Sight come on. We should get more of these people to come on the show. They'll come on, I'm sure.
Yeah. And give us hope that Martyrs is coming out in 4K.
Yeah, I watched Jeff from Films at Home. Love what Jeff's been doing. Jeff's been doing some cool stuff on Instagram, like picking out 5 movies. He's like, these 5 movies you should check out. We need to be more like Jeff. He's growing his audience. We have a very dedicated audience, but we should broaden our horizons. I feel I've let you down. I need to make more short subjects with us.
Rob, you only want to do to have more live chat viewers that I can't go through the live chat anymore.
Oh yes,
That's
sorry.
what you're
Okay, I'm
looking for.
sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
At the moment, it's still manageable, Rob. Okay. Speaking of James Cameron, titles will come out next year. Tim Henson, still no sign of Piranha, Flying Fish in 4K. I don't know if we need that, Tim. It's always nice to see some new names. Caravaggio, we already talked a little bit about. Anybody aware of a good resource, YouTube book to learn technical filmmaking? And another one, Played Out, Edit. Rob has mentioned a book on editing. Can't recall the title.
In
Rob,
the
do you
blink
have
of an
anything?
eye.
Yeah, in the blink of an eye. There
Yeah.
you go. A book on editing.
By Walter
Have you
Murch.
anything else as a good resource, Rob, about technical filmmaking to learn something about it?
It's funny.
A
I
book
mean, you
or-
go back to things like a book called, I think it's called Directing for Film.
Yeah.
Is a pretty good one. It's got a blue cover. But it's that's a good one. But I have to tell you, dude, you know what? The best resource for directing for film is watching the movies that you most love. I don't
And
think
study
that
them.
there's and study them. And when I say that, I mean, you know, if you want to learn about directing, pick your favorite movie that you know very well, and watch it and isolate scenes. Like, go to your favorite scene, and the first thing that I would do is count the edits. Watch how many edits are in a sequence, because most people don't do this. And when you start counting the edits, it will be very illuminating. I would suggest anybody, even if you're not going to be a filmmaker, if you want to understand the because after all, cinematic language are the shots themselves. So, like, how many words do you need to use? How many shots are in a sequence? And then when you start thinking in terms of, because most people don't think in terms of shots. They don't stop. They're just watching the story pass by you. Movies are an illusion. Remember, movies are just a succession of still frames. I mean, film is a succession of still frames that are projected. It's persistence of vision that creates movement for you. But if you look at how many shots are in a sequence, then you start being aware, like, oh. And then once you start realizing there are different shots, then you start looking at how the shots are put together. Is it a master shot? Is it a medium shot? Is it a close-up shot? Is it a panning shot? Is it a zoom? And when you start thinking in terms of shots and you go back and forth and watch a scene again and again and again, then suddenly, I'm telling you, a whole world will open up, because you'll start to think differently. Because most people they're not even aware. If you just watch a movie and you're not a filmmaker, you're not even aware that there are shots happening, and nor should you be, because you're just taking it all in. But when you actually start isolating shots, and then you realize, oh, and how many, and of those shots, remember, you might have different shots, but it might be the same shot that's used over and over again in the edit. They might be going back to the same close-up and intercutting with that same close-up. Now it's a different, they've used one shot maybe 4 times. And then when you start analyzing that and realize, oh, and what I always tell people is, I've always said this to people: watch scenes. If you have a favorite scene at a restaurant, watch any sequence where people are sitting and they are planted in one space. Like, and one of my favorites is the opening of The Social Network. David Fincher's The Social Network. The first, I think it's 9 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's Rooney Mara, not Rooney Mara. Is it Rooney Mara? Yeah, it's Rooney Mara and Jesse Eisenberg is Mark Zuckerberg. They're having a conversation that lasts almost 9 minutes. Fincher's
Continuous shot, Rob.
It's not a continuous shot. There's edits, but it's two people planted in one place. And I've always said when like I'm looking at cinematography reels or something, people always send you their cinematography reels, and it's all these beautiful shots. What I love to see is show me a scene where two characters are planted in one place, and show me how you can shoot that and make it interesting. Now, if the actors carry it for you, it doesn't matter. You can keep the camera on the actors. But if you have two characters or even more, if it's a big dinner sequence or something, if people are planted in one place, you don't have the luxury of people moving around to make it really. How do you take two people sitting in one place talking to each other cinematic? How do you do it?
Yeah.
And I love seeing how people do it. And you count the edits, but to start on this, watch the opening of The Social Network, because it's two people, and watch, like, when do you go into a close-up? You know, you've got a medium shot, you've got a close-up, you've got a two-shot, you've got a wide shot, and watch how the language of cinema is used to take you through the ups and downs of a conversation. And that's why I'm obsessed with watching scenes in restaurants or behind bar, somebody sitting at a desk or something. It's just a personal thing, but you learn a lot about filmmaking that way. And you can read books all you want, but reading books is one thing. It gets academic. I think watching movies is the best way to learn how movies are made. You just need to stop and realize what it is, or what you need to know what you're looking at and looking for. And once you start counting the shots in a sequence, it'll all open up to you, because then it's not just counting the shots. Once you start realizing where the shots start and end, then you start looking like, that's a wide shot. That's a close up. That's a medium shot. They've popped out, and now you're seeing a waiter walk by in the background. I mean, once you start counting shots, it's going to change the way you look at cinema.
And the special features, Rob. Cool, good making of.
Yes. You'll learn more, if I do say so myself. I mean, you know, the things I've worked on some pretty great, like the Lord of the Rings special features. Yeah. I'm really proud of my Superman Returns 3-hour documentary, because it's more of a fly on the wall situation, but yeah.
Nice. Mark Albion says, I have the 2K Terminator 2 in 4K. What was the problem? And 200 Watt Studio helped them out and said T2 was remastered for a 3D release. To do that, the grain and the detail had to be scrubbed. Need smooth image for 3D conversion. Unfortunately, this was the source for all BD releases of T2, or the 4K release. Let's just say that. Javier Karls, any news on Alita Battle Angel 2? Not particularly, but I think there is something brewing.
Yeah, I mean, John Landau just what recently was quoted as saying that they're working on it.
Yeah, that would be great to do. I'm missing a little bit of context, Rob, but I think it was that movie that you showed, Burn, Which Burn, or something like that.
Yeah, Burn, Which Burn. The Night of the Eagle.
Night of the Eagle. And Unlimited Power says,
your wife.
Yeah. And Unlimited Power says, if my girlfriend says she's a witch, I'll still go out with her. Of course.
Dude, I think we all admit, look, if you found out your wife was a supernatural being, I think that's an epic win for all of us.
Yeah.
Totally. Unless she's a succubus. In which case she's going to leave you a shriveled husk of, you know.
50-50.
But I think that I don't understand, like, I've never understood. And the great thing about Burn, Which Burn, one of the awesome things in it is that the lead character, Peter Wyngarde's wife, is a fucking baller. If you found out that you were married to her, you'd be like, yes. Like, I've never understood, like, did you ever watch I Dream of Jeannie when you were a kid?
No, I don't think
so. It's a sitcom. You got Barbara Eden is this smoking hot blonde bombshell of a genie. Or Bewitched. In the 60s, you had these normal dudes. Bewitched was about a guy who was married to a witch. When I was a little kid,
was it a show? But it was not the show with Larry Hagman. No.
Yes, Larry Hagman. Yes, that was
JR from Dallas.
Yeah. That was I Dream of Jeannie.
Ah, okay.
Larry Hagman.
Perhaps the German title was different, of course.
Yeah, of course. Even as a little kid, I'm watching these sitcoms like 6, 7, 8 years old, and these guys in these sitcoms, both in Bewitched, Darren Stevens, and then the colonel, whatever the astronaut's name. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? But Larry Hagman character. They have these supernatural, beautiful supernatural women, and all they do is tell them not to use their powers. I'm like, even as a kid, I'm like, are you fucking dumb? I mean, I'm looking at these dudes. I'm like, you've got these beautiful, supernaturally powered women that love you. I would take over the world. You could be in. You could do anything. I mean, I wouldn't. I want to go make movies. But you have a resource, supernatural powers. Your wife can wiggle her nose. Even your mother-in-law is a witch. I'd make friends with your mother-in-law. You know, Agnes Moorehead. She's coming over. You've got 2 witches, and you've got these numbnuts dudes that are like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. I mean, basically what that show was you talk about white male patriarchy. Jesus Christ. If you have supernatural women that love you, let them be supernatural women that love you. Unleash them. Give them the power to do what they want. I hated those shows when I was a kid. I mean, I loved them, but I hated them.
At the same time, Rob, at the same time. Finn 2187, Way of Water was dope. Joseph, the F word is from Germany. I never knew that. Finn 2187, did Germans invent the F word? I did a little bit of digging, Rob. Nobody actually knows exactly where the famous Elon Musk word that he used this week actually comes from.
Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Rob recommended one series. I recommended another one. Will Smith's Pantheon is great, and Equity Group Blue Eye Samurai is dope. So we both
Dude, everyone keeps telling me about Blue Eyed Samurai. I got to get on that shit.
Yeah, you have to watch it. Caravaggio. I thought I was a cinephile until I started watching shows like this. Oh, it's great to hear. Finn 2187. Does Deeds by every movie that comes out? No, but too much. Finn, definitely too much. Caravaggio. Dieter has the best accent. That is a nice compliment, Rob, that I gladly take. But then he immediately sucker punched me, Rob, and goes, is Mr. Dieter Bastian from Bavaria? Rob, where do I come from? Where do I come from? Tell the people. Tell
Saarbrücken, Deutschland.
Yes, Rob.
Deutschland, Saarbrücken.
Yeah.
Does your mom still love it when I say that? I do that for your mom. Saarbrücken, Deutschland.
And then she is pissed off again, Rob, because she doesn't speak English and she would like to watch the show even further.
We have to have it subtitled, you know. But shout out to Miss Bastian. What's your mom's name?
Rosemary.
Rosemary from Saarbrücken, Deutschland.
Yeah, nice. Caravaggio. The level of knowledge on this channel chat is actually insane. It's almost a professional resource. Thank you to that.
By the way, speaking of that, Caravaggio is the name of Willem Dafoe's character in what movie? The English Patient, which, by the way, is owned by fucking Disney, which won Best Picture, and guess what's not on fucking 4K?
The English Patient.
With a character named Caravaggio. Come on now. Come on, Disney. Gosh, we own Miramax. You know, it's like, oh, we got a great Pulp Fiction disc. Can somebody please put out The English Patient? I know it's Miramax. I don't care. Give me Ray Fiennes in 4 fucking K. I want my Lenny Nero. I want his character's name. Amalfi or whatever. God damn, do I love The English Patient. No, we don't have it.
And Rob, speaking of Miramax, we get from Paramount the Scream movies too. You know? No.
Who do I have to call and complain? You know what? If I called everybody I would talk about complaining to on this show, nobody would ever want to take my call. Oh, Burnett's calling. Fuck that guy. Nobody would take my calls ever. You know, people get mad at me. People are saying, like, do you have to be so harsh on your shows all the time? I just want you to know. I want everyone to know. If I walked into Alex Kurtzman's office, I'd say, hey, it's really nice to meet you. Why can't you make better Star Trek? I'd say it. I'd do it. I'm a man. I'm a man of principle. But my God, I swear to God, I think that Bill Hunt and I and we should just go to Disney and go to Warner Brothers and just offer our services and say, yo, you don't even have to pay us very much. I'm one step away of just getting free discs. Come on. Why? Anyway, what am I talking about? I don't know.
About the release policy of the big studio companies.
I mean, come on, man. How do you not have a Best Picture? How do I not have a 4K, The English Patient? How do I not have The Talented Mr. Ripley? How do I not have Cold Mountain?
Rob, if you don't reach one, you have to go to the old ways, shouting at clouds, and hopefully the cloud will take your message.
Send me some more, because you know what? No one ever has sent me that Simpsons meme. Old man shouts at clouds.
Nobody, Rob. Nobody ever.
You know what's funny? I get less old man Simpsons memes now that I'm shaved.
So what is the flavor of the day now? What you get? When you don't get the Simpsons meme, do you have another
people
one?
just tell me that it's anti. They say that they send me stuff about the Palestinian the war, because I'm a staunch supporter of civilization. But it's yes, nobody should die. It's bad.
Definitely.
If people the more people that are alive complaining about Warner Brothers and complaining about Disney not giving us the 4K disc. People get angry when I make comments like that. It's like, look, we live in a continuum. On one end is the horrible, awful things humanity does to one another. On the other hand is getting what we want in 4K. And somewhere in between, we live our lives.
Exactly.
I mean, and I can say, you can try and fight the fights that we can fight. And the fight that we're fighting today on this particular show is, why the fuck don't I have The English Patient in 4K? Huh? Well, I don't know. People are like, Rob, that's not a very good. It's boring and it's not a great Best Picture winner. Fuck off. I want it. Give it to me. I want it now.
Yeah,
I want what I want.
And it's always a good promotion, Rob, on the disc itself. Best Picture winner.
Okay. Here's the thing. Why is it that on Black Friday, Vinegar Syndrome drops Cronenberg's Existence and we're like all excited, right? Awesome company. You've got Severin. You've got all these companies. Hey, here's Michelle Suave's. Here's Delamorte Delamore. Here's The Church. Here's The Sect. Get some T-shirts. Get some swag. Get all this cool stuff. It's a bundle for $300 or whatever it is. And
with the magic crystal, Rob.
With the magic crystal, Well, that's because that's Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You've got these great companies, and yet you can't get The English Patient in 4K. Like, you can't get Patton in 4K. I can't get the Planet of the Apes movies in 4K. It's amazing to me that you've got all these boutique companies that spend all this. Second Sight putting out pictures on social media of the transfer of The Hitcher that director Robert Harmon is looking at. Second Sight is doing this, and you've got these big companies like Disney losing money on the stock market. Their stock's down for the year like $25. You look at that and you're like, you guys are sitting on some of the greatest movies ever made. You have entire divisions of your own studio, like Hollywood Pictures.
Yeah.
Next year is the 4K, the 40th anniversary of Splash. You guys are too busy covering up Daryl Hannah's exquisite ass with digital hair. So what, kids aren't offended when a mermaid goes off into the water? Where's the 4K of Splash? Where's Ruthless People? Where's Down and Out in Beverly Hills? Where are these movies? And yet you've got, I can get Delamorte Delamore. I can get The Sect and The Church and The Convent. Mike Mendez' The Convent. And we can't get Oscar winners. Where's Blood In, Blood Out? Why isn't Disney putting out Barbarian on 4K? Why don't they give Barbarian and The Empty Man to Second Sight? It's like
you said, the genre titles, especially.
Horror titles are going to sell. We buy that click, 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 click. It's amazing to me that we live in a world where our major studios, our publicly held corporations, are sitting on assets that they are doing nothing with. And then they'll bench a movie that was getting 92% test scores. It is unbelievable to me. I look at the people that are running these studios and I'm like, what the fuck are you people doing? Your job is to make movies, and you have our entire cinematic legacy. Disney acquired Fox. What the fuck have they done with Fox's library?
Put it in the vault, Rob.
Zero. They've done zero. And it's astonishing to me that, I mean, if nothing else, let's rail against that. Who at Disney, you know what? Do people at Disney even know what's in the Fox library? Do you? I mean, it's incredible to me. Why, for your 100th anniversary, Warner Brothers was at least stealing credit for their MGM movies. Warner Brothers wasn't, except Warner UK wouldn't do that because they know better. But why wasn't Disney going, yes, we acquired Fox. We spent, $90 billion or some shit to acquire Fox so we could own their whole libraries.
Only 72, Rob.
They've done nothing with it. I mean, it's just amazing to me. Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you promoting 20th Century Fox? Why isn't there a 20th Century Fox channel?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
Where was I? Where were you? Go back to what you're doing.
back to me. Joseph, Dieter finds all the craziest movies, which doesn't mean they are good movies. Equity Group. Yeah, that movie is gnarly. Considering context, I would say it was around when I show Mother's Day. Perhaps. Danzig, 1979. I once showed a questionable film to my son, Star Trek, Into Darkness. So, Danzig, how did it go? You should have keep us.
No, he's right. That was a questionable film. That was a nonsensical. That was a movie where the main villain has a model of a secret spaceship that's being built by Jupiter on his desk. Hi, everybody. Peter Weller, what is that interesting black starship that you have on your desk? It looks very villainous. Well, it's my super secret starship nobody knows is actually real. But it's right there on my desk.
It's just a model I built.
Yes, it's something I was dreaming about. I was dreaming when I built this, so sue me if it goes astray. But I might be building it in orbit around Jupiter at a super secret facility. That movie is the single most brain-dead science fiction movie ever made. That makes Plan 9 from outer space look like Citizen Kane, I'm telling you.
There you go.
Am I being too harsh? Am I being hyperbolic? Yes. It's bad. You showed it to your son. Shame on you. Shame.
Perhaps he hadn't seen the movie itself, Rob. So perhaps it was the first time for Danzig 2. Perhaps as an excuse. He
didn't say he showed his son Wrath of Khan.
No, he didn't. This one thrilled me because it's not every week. Tim Hens, impressive haul deeds. Okay, can happen. That Junkman. I don't even have a way to play disc anymore. Get a player. Easy as that. Altmetall. The video nasties list is exciting to know about, but it doesn't mean I have to watch every movie. You're right, but it was more back in the day. It was like a shopping list, or at least you would.
It was also a badge of honor. If you could see a video nasty, it was like that was that.
You arrived, Rob. You arrived.
You did. You had the stones.
Yeah. Show says. Christopher Nolan stated, buy the physical release so that streamers can steal your copy of Oppenheimer. And people are doing that. I think it's coming out from Second Sight. And I remember I Googled the movie a little bit, and I remember I bought it back in the day. It's an older release. Caravaggio, Dead Man's Shoes is an absolute classic. Tempus from Mars, Dead Man's Shoes is fucking awesome.
Yeah, and I've never seen it. It is coming out from Second Sight.
Yeah. And Guy Newby, Dead Man's Shoes is amazing. For me, I have to watch it again. I remember it very, very loosely only. Brian Sillett, you've never seen Dead Man's Shoes? Yeah.
I have not.
Changing the situation. I have seen it, but it's been a long time back. Vixter 5001. Good news in the UK. London is getting the flagship HMV store back next weekend. It's been gone for years, but the company has turned around since. Joe, I used to have free Enterprise on Laserdisc. Loved it. And shared it. And shared VHS recorded copies with friends. Okay. Nice. Adventure Square. Fincher movies are usually great. This one, The Killer, I think so. This one was good and much funnier than anything he's done before. Yeah. Demenz. Love and Plunder was trash. Yeah. Tim, you're right. You're right on that one. A Bird in Pyjamas, Science Lady. I know it's not fashionable. I like Eternals. My brother is an astrophysics.
It's great. I love it too.
Is an astrophysics. Although it's a bit mad. He is a huge fan of the movie 2. Demenz answer to Caravaggio. Wait until Dieter says motherfucker. Okay. I don't know what the people are talking about. Caravaggio, he reminds me of Prime Arnie. More of a cheap version of Arnold. Thomas Logan. My friend Thomas Logan. The sleeves are shit. No, the sleeves are great. I love them. God damn it. Canto 007. Rob, when do you pop? When you do pop over to Germany to meet Dieter for the first time, please film it. Caravaggio.
Well, I have to tell you, dude. So I have to go. If this happens next month, I would be going to meet Gabe and meet somebody else of some great celebrity.
Okay.
And if this were to happen, it looks like it's going to happen. You would have to come to the UK. You'd have, and I'd go with you. But if you could come up for like it'd be. I'm just saying, it would be worth doing.
Okay.
It would be epic. And come on, if we're gonna go out with the lovely Emma Bannon and the Vixter, can you imagine the four of us getting you hammered in London? Come on.
That's what you like to see, Rob. Yeah,
it is, and I think I would film it all. I'd be wearing like a body cam.
The evidence.
I'd have like
keep the
Google
evidence.
Glass. Yeah. And I'd just be like, "Here, Dieter, have another shot." And you know what? Who else?
Of a blackmail. Get me some more stuff. Buy the stuff for me, or it will get released online.
Yeah, and Emma and the Vixter, come on, they'd help me. They'd help me get you. But no, in all seriousness, if this happens, it would be very, very exciting, because the reason that I'd be going to the UK is to show something to a specific individual, and that individual would be pretty dope to have on this show. Let's leave it at
that. Okay.
But more. I mean, this would be happening next month. Just saying. I'm coming, and if you can't come, I'm coming to see you. I will fly. I will come see you. I'm coming. If I come to the UK next month, I will not leave Europe without seeing you in person.
Okay.
So clean up that fucking apartment.
God damn it, Rob. Caravaggio. Brilliant idea. They should both film a documentary about it. Random She 23. Are you guys on Letterboxd? Rob, I'm not. Do you use Letterboxd?
Dude, you know what's funny? I am on Letterboxd, and I've been on I did it like once for like 5 minutes.
So only one review for you.
I'm like, there's no. To be honest, if I was gonna spend something, I every time I go in something like that and I feel like I'm gonna review something, I'm like, I should make a 5-minute review and put it on this channel. Yeah. I mean, honestly, and you know, people have always asked me to do reviews, and my 10 and 20 things, which I was going to start on. It's very funny because when I start on doing something like this, I want to spend a lot of time doing it, and then suddenly I just don't have the time to do it the way I want to do it, and it never gets done. Somebody said to me, they're like, you know, Rob, if you fulfilled all the promises you've made on this channel, you'd be rich. Like, they're right. They're right, because in my mind, I'm always like, let's do this, let's do that, but I'm not on I'm on Letterboxd, but I don't spend any time going on there and writing reviews, because if I did write reviews, I'm like, why didn't I make a video review on the channel? So maybe I should. I don't know. It's cool. I like going to Letterboxd and reading other people's stuff. See what they like. See what's up. What's in their collections.
So Random She, I'm not on Letterboxd, and he goes on to say, "Love the show." By the way, that's always nice to read. Kronos Gottweisen. I wonder if records should be played in a vacuum chamber. Some YouTuber must have done that because, Rob, we talked a little bit about vinyl, and you always say, you always have that mechanic. And Roberto Suarez goes on, I would spend hours cleaning my vinyl records with very little improvement. There you go. And we were thinking about, Rob, what HMV stands for, and the people in the chat helped us out. It stands for His Master's Voice, actually. And Andy H says the logo is a pet dog hearing his owner's voice on a gramophone player and cooking his head in recognition. So his master's voice. And the last one from Deadpool Red Suit. The first CD I picked up was Michael Jackson's Bad. CD was the future. Those mirror discs seemed space age at the time. Exactly. This was the live chat, Rob, from last week. So do we have some super chats? Because I have still more titles to show.
Okay, well, yeah, we do. We have a few. Okay. We have more super chats. This has been a very active show, and it's always so. First of all, 5 Dot Toast, which, by the way, 5 Dot Toast is one of our great supporters on this channel. What does that mean? 5 Dot Toast. Okay, in my mind when I read this here, I have to tell you what comes to my mind. I think of the Predator, and I think of the Predator, and it's not
free.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's only 3, but I think 5 Dot Toast. I think that you have a piece of bread, and you want to toast it, right? The Predator comes in, and from a distance, you see the little laser going, and it starts like frying your bread for you, but that's only 3 dots, and you need to get a nicely toasted piece of bread. So then you take it out and you put it in your actual toaster, and the toaster has a red light on that shows that it's on, and then when you push the thing down, it shows that it's now cooking your toast. So there's 2 more dots there, so a total of 5 dots. This makes no sense, I know, but that's what I think about.
No, Rob, it actually makes sense because you always said you wanted to do a Predator show. What is a Predator doing 9 to 5?
So you remember that. I love that you remember. Yes. So for the people at home, one of my favorite things in the world was in Alien vs. Predator Requiem, the second one, how it opens on the Predator homeworld, and you see this like schleprock Predator who's like working in his 9 to 5 job, and it's like ding, 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 there's an emergency over Earth, and this guy, this poor workaday Predator is like, fuck, and I've often wondered, like, we see the Predator homeworld. So the Predators, they don't just, all we know of them on Earth is that they hunt. It's like finding hunters that just go out every weekend and hunt. But what do they do during the week? They're just normal predators. They're just normal dudes. I mean, if you think about it, there's pornography on the Predator homeworld. There's sitcoms on the Predator homeworld. No. You can go, you can take your Predator wife to the equivalent of Aruba on vacation. All we know of the Predators is that, like, we don't appreciate the way they look, even though they're beautifully designed, these Rastafarians with the weird mandibles on their mouths. We're so caught up in the fact that they're just trying to kill us, we don't realize that they're just people, or they're just predators. Yeah. And what Alien versus Predator Requiem showed us is that they're just workaday creatures. So why wouldn't, I want to see, you talk about, what's a Predator rock band look like? Can you imagine? They've got to have metal on the Predator homeworld. If you went and saw an all Predator metal band, like what is the Kiss? What is the equivalent of Kiss? Like, how do Predators would dress if they want to have if there's a version of Kiss on the Predator homeworld? Can you imagine what that band looks like? What does the Predator version of Gene Simmons look like?
Yeah. But it would perhaps be going more into the way of Quar, Rob.
Well, we would think it's Guar, but they don't know what Guar is. The Predators are just... And what about a Predator? You know what I think the Predators would be really good at? Jazz. I want to see a Predator jazz trio in some smoky late night. You go down to some like dead end, some warehouse district on the Predator homeworld, and suddenly you smell like whatever they smoke is wafting out into the alleyway, and you hear the strains of whatever alien instruments they play, and it sounds great. It's like 1958 Paris, but you're on the Predator homeworld, and you walk in and you see, like, imagine a Predator wailing on their equivalent of a saxophone. Could be awesome. You never know. But because of Alien versus Predator Requiem, I'm obsessed with the Predator homeworld. I'm just saying.
And the name 5.toast.
So 5.toast says, 5.toast is like, remember, I did send you a $20 super chat. Yes. So thank you, 5.toast. 5.toast says, what a random, he certainly sent me off on one. A 5.toast says, cheers, Rob and Dietz. Do you all think that aspect ratios that are closer to square, 4:3, lend themselves to faster edits or jump cuts than wider aspect ratios do? Hope y'all are having a great weekend. That's a really interesting question.
I leave that up to you, Rob, as the editor here.
I don't think so, because I think, here's the thing. Here's a observations that comes from me that is based on no scientific knowledge, but I think that we adjust to whatever image that we're looking at. So if you're watching a 4K video image is a widescreen 4K video image is 4096 by 1716 pixels. That's 239:1. That's a widescreen 4K image. I think if you're watching that, your mind accustoms itself to that aspect ratio, so you can get away with editing. 4:3. The only thing about 4:3 is because it's more compressed. If you're cutting on action, there's less things like, for instance, if you cut on action that's on one side of the frame and you want to match it to the other side of the frame, that's difficult because you're jumping like this across the frame.
Yeah.
A 4:3 image might afford you more opportunity to do so, but I would say this: great editing, you have to adjust based on the size of the frame. There are certain, I learned this in Tango Shalom when I was editing dance. I'd never edited dance before, but you had to be careful if somebody was doing a kick in one direction. It was more difficult. So I think that all aspect ratios have their good and bad points when it comes to being able to edit. It really depends on what you're editing and what but that's a fascinating question. Now you've got me.
Yeah.
I'm not just thinking about Alien versus Predator Requiem now, but now I'm thinking about editing different aspect ratios. So thank you for that, 5.toast. But what does it mean? What does 5.toast mean? Irene Jobson says, I've actually been to I Dream of Jeannie Lane. We did beach cleanups on that beach. I graduated on Merritt Island, but near Cape Canaveral. Because, of course, I Dream of Jeannie was about astronauts. Larry Hagman was. That is. Not only is Irene Jobson, by the way, you got to follow her on Instagram because she's so cute and funny, and she's such a good mom. That's really interesting. Irene, you never cease to amaze. So that's amazing. David C. says, hi, gents. I haven't been able to keep up with the show lately. What? You two are still
insanity,
but happy you two are still going with the show. Keep preaching the good word. Cheers. Well, thank you, David. Appreciate it. We will keep preaching the good word, because if we don't, I mean, I kind of want to have, I think one day, like Elliot Cohen, over in the UK, we got to get him. We got to get Heath. We got to get Jeff. I think we need to do a Avengers lineup of people who talk about physical media on YouTube. It'd be really cool to do that. And who better than us to host it? But
Collectors Assemble.
Yeah, Collectors Assemble. There you go. 5.toast sends in another super chat.
Okay.
And this is okay. 5.toast was my favorite breakfast that my Nana made. 5 dots of butter.
There you have your solution.
5 dots of butter broiled onto toast. Okay, I'm gonna get
great name.
I'm gonna get all weepy. And he said, Nana, my Nana was named Nana Babe, my dad's mom, my grandmother, Nana Babe. But that's so 5 dots of toast. I mean, 5 dots of butter on toast, and then you broil it in. It's a cooking technique. But I do love Rob's explanation. But 5 dot toast, no. Give it up to your Nana. That's and did she now I want to know, did you do the Olympic 5 dot, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Like the Olympic circles? Like where did the 5 dots go on the toast? That is a great Tom Jr. Jackson.
Now he will think about what Predator is cooking.
Yeah. Tom Jr. Jackson says about tips getting red. Don't worry. I got the tips. Cooking. I got them all right here. Speaking of...
And Richard is already asking.
Yeah, well, okay, first of all, let's go to 1001 Johnny. Sends in a tip and says, I just thought I'd type to say, I will be seeing Godzilla -1 tonight.
Yes.
Hope to enjoy it as much as Shin Godzilla. I love Shin Godzilla. Godzilla -1's better. I mean, it's different, but it's really, really, really good. It's really good.
I hope you like it more than Adam. Adam did.
I don't know why. I got to go back and watch his review now. Richard, our own The Richard, says, Aloha, gents. I've got a personal connection to the Monster Squad.
Oh, okay.
As I met the fellow who owned the rights back in 2010. I wrote up a remake, though, before I was finished. He sold to Platinum Dunes, who had 2 bros write, and then nada, nothing. I still have mine, though. Yeah, I mean, if you don't, people will... You might have written the greatest thing in the world, The Richard, but unless you have the credibility, somebody else probably... It's amazing that the Monster Squad didn't get a sequel because people love that movie. By the way, why not make another one? Do it...
Wasn't it a hit, perhaps, Rob? I don't know exactly, the Monster Squad.
I don't think it was a huge hit.
Did it make more or less a cult following over time?
You know what you could do? You could do it style. You know how it has the young kids and the older kids? Now it's been, 40 years or something since the Monster...
Oh, that would be a great idea.
So, yeah, you could get the kids back together and do the Monster Squad today. You could.
It would be nice.
So, yeah, we're caught up on those tips. I haven't forgotten. Yep. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So Tom Doc Civil says Star Trek Into Darkness makes Plan 9 from outer space looks like Plan 5 from outer space. That's pretty funny. That's good. I love you guys. We have the best audience. We really do.
Definitely.
We really do. Okay. Even though we started at 10, we're almost 3 hours into the show.
Yeah. So if we are caught up on Super Chats, Rob, I would say the final haul that I did get over the 2.
I cede the floor to you, Dietz.
Yeah. You have to help me out, Rob, with the next one. A Cat in the Bag from older days. I bought from Shout, from Scream. I bought Motel Hell.
You've never seen Motel Hell?
Rob, I don't think so. It comes with a reverse cover artwork.
It takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters.
Yeah, that is the tagline on the other cover.
1980, bro. The first time I saw David Cronenberg Shivers was on a second bill with Motel Hell that I saw at a drive-in.
Okay. Which was the first one? Motel Hell or Shivers?
Motel Hell was first. Shivers was second.
Okay.
Motel Hell is a hoot.
Oh, nice.
You are gonna love. So for those of you, if you think about your horror history, and if I get this right, the cover of Fangoria, issue 9, it became a rare issue as the Motel Hell cover. Like,
nice.
Motel Hell, they you see the cover, how there's people like buried in the ground?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, okay. Your task this week is to watch Motel Hell and to come back and tell us what you think.
Okay, Rob, I will do that.
I think. Look, okay. This is really interesting.
But Rob, I might die laughing, Rob. Then I will not be able to.
Well,
do the
it's
show.
okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Motel Hell. To be honest, I've seen Motel Hell twice in my life.
Yeah.
I saw it the first time, 43 years ago? That was the first time I saw it? 43 years ago when it first came out? 1980?
Yeah.
And then I saw it one other time. I've owned this in multiple formats. I have that 4K. And I've never watched it again. Maybe you and I should both, as a homework assignment, we should both watch Motel Hell and come back
Your
next
homework
week.
assignment is to watch Elderly as soon as you get it.
Yeah. Well, yes, I got to and Blue-Eyed Samurai and all that. But we should both watch Motel Hell and talk about it next week.
Okay. Yeah, I totally put that on my agenda. The next one I saw digitally, and I already made a mental note to buy it on physical media, and somehow it slipped through my fingers that there was already an US release of Polite Society, a great, fun, entertaining movie. If you were to combine Never Have I Ever, the great sitcom on Netflix, with a tiny bit of Miss Marvel, totally a blast for me. Polite Society, unfortunately, no bonus features, but it is only out, strangely, in America. But I remember it came out here in the theater really 2 or 3 months later than it did in the States. Polite Society. And speaking of heroes, cat in the bag, but at least the O-ring is shiny, Rob. The Queen of Justice.
Ooh, look at that. Where the hell did you find that?
Browse, Rob. Through browsing, Rob. And it's actually pretty long. It says it is what did it say on the back? Here it is. Sri Asi is Indonesian's answer to Wonder Woman. Okay. Here without the shiny, but it was reversible, so we don't have the MPAA Sherman rating. So Queen of Justice, Rob.
Wow. I mean, I cannot fault you for picking that one up.
Yeah. The next one, we hate if we have to do double dip, but sometimes the movie, we have to do it, can't go around it. And it was getting a release on 4K through Turbine here. I got the Pearl.
Oh, that's a beautiful Steelbook. Wow, dude.
And my friend Glenn, who did get the same, was a little bit unsure because we have here a little bit of the X and here a little bit of her earring. And if you look at it, it almost looks that the Steelbook is damaged in those places because of the silver, Glenn. But it is not. It's actually the earring and a little bit.
That's a great Steelbook.
Of her X. We get the movie in 4K and as a Blu-ray. And besides Pearl, Rob, do we know any release date considering Maxine? Do we know anything?
No, I don't know.
Really looking forward to the last title. And this one should have gotten just as Violent Night, Megan, Cocaine Bear from Universal should have gotten a 4K release immediately too. But Turbine put it out here. Renfield, which I had a great time.
I had so much fun with that movie.
Yeah, this is a outer slipcase, and then inside we have the Steelbook.
Nice, that's really nice.
4K and normal Blu-ray with different.
You Europeans have such respect for art. See, Americans don't respect art. Unless you live in the big cities. I mean, as a nation, we don't, though. We don't.
And if you're more into media books, Turbine will release Renfield 4K and Pearl 4K next year, as far as I remember, as media book versions of it. And the last title, Rob, since we're in Christmas season, another one where Universal should have gotten us the 4K immediately. But I loved the movie, and I bought the special edition for Violent Night.
There you go.
So a classic. Actually, now even a classic to watch around the Christmas time, and we get 3 different, cover variations. We got the Steelbook inside, which you can get separately without.
It's Christmas time,
and
you don't have
4K
to be
Blu-ray.
afraid.
And let's see what they put in it too. We actually get a nice booklet, which comes with a even different variation of our Santa Claus. Really had a fun time. It's the movie. We get, of course, the poster for Violent Night. Is there talks about having a sequel for Violent Night?
I don't know, but I'm sure. Why not? David Harbour's
exactly, Rob. Why? Why?
I mean, wouldn't it look?
Especially considering how they framed Santa, the flashback, it was a great way to do it.
I want to give my friend Rob Galuzzo, Rob G, as we call him, a shout out, who has a great movie on Blu-ray called Analog Love about mixtapes you should get.
Okay.
Rob G expressed something to me that I totally agree with, a sentiment that I've been often repeating, but I don't give him enough credit, which is you should always ask yourself this question. Wouldn't it be cool if? And if the answer is yes, wouldn't it be cool if blah, blah, blah? Wouldn't it be cool if Disney released The English Patient in 4K? And the answer is yes, it would be. Wouldn't it be cool if Warner Brothers put out Contact, The Right Stuff, Excalibur, 2010, Outland in 4K? Yes, it would. Wouldn't it be cool if they made a Violent Night sequel?
Definitely. Yes, Rob. Yes.
So, Rob G, shout out to you. And by the way, if you're interested in mixtapes and the process of making them, the whole philosophy, seek out his documentary, Analog Love. Just saying. Wouldn't it be cool if you look for Rob G's Blu-ray of his Analog Love documentary? And the answer would be yes, it would be.
Nice. So, Rob, this was my finally the last.
Finally. Okay, yes, that was good. Well done. So, we're caught up. I think we're caught up on everything. Let me just make sure. No, we're not.
We're not.
Guy Newby. Guy Newby, hang on. Guy Newby has sent in a tip. Guy Newby has wow. There's sometimes people write in, and I have to say, even before I say what they're going to say or what they said, that we park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay. Guy Newby says, I desperately want Second Sight to do Night of the Living Dead and Day of the Dead to sit next to my Dawn of the Dead box set. Also, Hereditary, please. That needs a special release. I like the way you think. Look, I will make as everyone knows, that Second Sight Dawn of the Dead box set. Not just because Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite movies of all time, but because of what they did with it. I mean, sometimes, to be honest, when I'm feeling depressed or something didn't go through, didn't come out the way I wanted it to, I go and I get my Second Sight box set of Dawn of the Dead, and I just hold it. I open it up, look at the discs, I don't even play it because I've played it. I know what it looks like.
But, you know the movie, Rob. You know the movie. I'm pretty
I've
sure you know
seen it 100, literally 100 times. But that box set, everything about it, even the way it still smells, everything they did,
gives you joy.
It makes me happy. You know what it says to me? It says to me that humanity is awesome. We have the ability to be great. And the fact that a company on this planet took one of my favorite films. I mean, I thought that my Japanese chrome Laserdisc box set of Dawn of the Dead was pinnacle. It was the end all be all. I thought I said I would be buried with that, even though it's garbage NTSC video. But then Second Sight came along and gave me.
Yeah.
That's why I love them.
Your holy grail. Your holy grail.
It truly is. It's a physical media. You know, every time like I've rearranged and I'm gonna move. I keep saying it, but I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move over there so you can see my physical media collection behind me when I do this show. But every time I go, I move that box set into a place of prominence because every time I walk in, I want to see it. Just saying.
To get that joyous feeling.
But no, I think Guy Newby, I mean, I mean, sometimes I wonder, I do these bits and do people think they're funny? But what Guy Newby is saying, I mean, the thing is Criterion did do, and Night of the Living Dead is in the public domain. So, but Criterion did do it in 4K. It's great. Now, Day of the Dead.
The only one that's missing would be Day.
Yeah, I mean, Day of the Dead, I would love to see them do that. Yeah. But I mean, just to have I don't know, the Dawn of the Dead box set, the full-on box set. There's 3 different versions of the film. There's obviously the Argento cut. There's the director's cut, and then there's a theatrical version. I mean, that alone, you're not going to get that with Day of the Dead, and you're not going to get that with Hereditary. So, or Night of the Living Dead either. So I don't know. You could never make them sit next to each other, but I get what you're saying. I would love to have, but then I would be like, but what about Survival of the Dead? And what about Land of the Dead? And then, Diary of the Dead. What about those? Although you could do a Land Survival and Diary of the Dead, or which you could do and make it
separately trilogy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you could do that. But anyway, I'm with you, Guy. I'm with you. I like how you think. So that then puts us, I guess, we're at the end.
Terry put in a super chat, Rob. Look.
Oh, well, hold on. I haven't even gone that far. But first of all, Terrier, let me just point out, he's been a member of this channel for 32 months. 32 months. I can't even believe I've been alive for that long. Oh, okay. Here's something really interesting. So Terrier told me that he bought the 4K Croupier disc that I think Arrow.
Clive Owen.
Was it Arrow? Put it out.
It was Arrow.
Okay, so Croupier was a DVD only movie that was part of my collection. Clive Owen, I loved Croupier, and by the way, that Arrow.
It never had a Blu-ray release before.
I don't believe it did. It might have. I didn't have it. I only have the DVD. That transfer, when I put on that disc, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, that transfer was stunning. And, Mike Hodges directed it. It's an incredible film. So Terrier says, thanks for loving on the Croupier. What a fantastic movie. I got a hold of the limited 4K edition from Arrow for a cool £15. It is worth 4 times as much. Yeah. I mean, oh my God. Croupier is one of the great British films of it's fantastic. And when I put on that disc, I was blown away by the quality of it. And that
did get the feeling, Rob, you're watching it for the first time, actually.
100%. And it's such a great
film. That's what we want. Yeah.
And Clive Owen, I mean, it's interesting because, look, I think that there is a universe where Clive Owen was Bond. And if you watch Shoot 'Em Up and you watch Croupier, my friend Michael Davis's Shoot 'Em Up, which, by the way, I produced the special features for. Just saying.
Awesome.
If you get that was my first Blu-ray disc that I produced special features for.
Nice.
But which was Shoot 'Em Up. But Clive Owen he could have been a great Bond. Totally. More on the George Lazenby, Timothy Dalton mold, Connery mold. Yeah. But my God, is Croupier a great movie. And you've got actors from Doctor Who in it. I mean, it's a great, great, great film. That disc is amazing. But I do believe it's only, Region 2. Region B.
That Could be, but luckily I would think the 4K is of course region free.
Yeah, it could be. Although there have been a few that I've received that are not. I mean, but it's great. It's a great movie. It's really, really good. If you guys haven't seen Croupier, I highly recommend that disc. It's very noir. It's very it's so good. It's such a great film. So, and on that note, we are hang on. Oh no, Ron C.
Oh no, Ron C.
Ron C. fires in a super chat and says, hello, gentlemen. A great day for physical media and NFL games. Do I have to endure my Seahawks losing again? I forget. I mean, the Seahawks, look, they're doing great this season, but they have the toughest schedule in the back half of the season. They're never going to win. I mean, they were doing, Uncle Pete and the boys were doing good. And they're holding their own against unbelievable teams. But yes, I am, that's just, no one wants to hear me talk about sports. Neither do you. And even I don't want to hear me talk about sports. But Ron C., if it's a great day for physical media and NFL games, we are right there with you. We are here for you, sir. And I'm not going to descend.
Into madness again.
Yeah.
About it. Hold your box set again, Rob.
What's that?
Hold your box set again from Dawn of the Dead. No.
Well, I can't. If I could actually go out and read it, but it's funny because there's a wall here. This is separated. The Robservatory is separated. You have to go around the wall to get to all the physical media, which looks really cool. Actually, every time I walk in, when I walk in the door, I see my physical media first, and I've got lights, digital lights shining on it. It just looks so cool. I'm like,
it's shiny.
Shiny and chrome like Furiosa.
So, Rob, I think we've done. We are finished. And I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all of the great moderators on this channel. You know who's here? Lord Toth. Lord Toth is here. So thank you, Lord Toth. Tom Jr. Jackson, who, by the way, still coining the phrase, we are all goof people, which is basically the banner headline of this channel. Thank you guys for being here. I want to thank everybody, all of our friends, Irene Jobson, Mom, doing the hard work. Always happy to have you here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Everyone who supports the channel generously via memberships and super chats. Thank you so much. We will be having a member call next week. We didn't have one this week. But we will be having one next week. So I love the member chats, love seeing everyone, and it's great. And then everything else. I'm going to be doing a show later tonight. Someone sent me an article about erotic cinema, and where has it gone? I'm like,
that is your kind of topic.
Here's an article I'm gonna read on the show. We're gonna talk about the fucking later. And how we're not getting enough unless you buy exploitation cinema on 4K. So there you go. We will be. So thank you very much, everybody. This was another great show. Dieter, good to see you again.
You too, my friend.
And as always, remember, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is listen. And I want to apologize to anyone who's gone to LA Comic-Con to see me. I did not think that I would still have COVID. It's now been, actually, to be honest, I first checked Monday morning. Yeah. So yes, this is now day 7, and it was fading. The line, to be honest, is very faded, but it was still there. Yeah, and it was there for real there. So I'm like, I can't go to LA Comic-Con. I mean, but I'm gonna be honest. I feel bad. I went and saw Godzilla. I was wearing a mask. I did isolate myself. But I still went in public and went and saw Godzilla. When I was like going, holy shit, and breathing out.
So, Adam, bro, once again, when it comes out digitally, watch it again. Perhaps you will change your mind when you watch it a second time.
And remember, this week I'm gonna finish the proof of concept for Max Allan Collins, Nathan Heller. It's called True Noir, the Nathan Heller Casebooks, our audio drama starring Todd Stashwick. You're gonna finally hear it, and I have to say, I'm getting everyone's notes, but I'm still pretty stoked. Even the proof of concept that shows what we're gonna do, I was like, very cool.
You're happy, okay?
You know, it's something I have to say I've produced and directed. And then Max Allan Collins himself wrote the script. Todd Stashwick. Chris Carr is in it. So is her husband, Logan.
Nice.
Doing voices. Really good. My friend, David Starzyk. It's really cool. And, hopefully we're going to crowdfund it because I want to do things like make physical media, which is not part of the budget. Dude, I want to do a 9...
Well, when did you do the audio... Robert, did you do the audio recording in Chicago?
No, we did the audio recording here in LA at a place called Private Island Post that I've been working out of for a long time. But we did take Todd Stashwick to Chicago. And as a matter of fact, I can show you. Would you like to see? Here's a picture I took of Todd outside of his old apartment in the 90s. When this is right outside. How cool is this? I mean, is this man not a does not look
coolest
like a detective?
ever.
I took this from my iPhone when we took him to his old apartment and interviewed him outside of it. This is on a Chicago street that was done a couple weeks ago. And then we also took him to Second City, where he's an alumni, and we were shooting him. This is Phil shooting Todd. He was able to get that we are backstage at Second City here, which you'll see the video, but this is Todd Stashwick at Second City. He's a Second City alum, and this is all part of what we were doing. So that's all in service of the great novelist Max Allan Collins and screenwriter and director. And so we're turning his character Nathan Heller. We're doing an 8-hour audio drama that we are going to crowdfund. And we're going to need your help, but that's because I want to get things like the 9-volume, 9-record vinyl box set. Come on.
Yeah. Last tier. It will be the last tier.
Yeah. It'll be the last tier. I could actually, what would be really interesting is if I actually played some of the. Now, it's a rough.
Just make it or fade out for the show.
I'll do that. Here it is.
No, or if you want to play something else, make it a fade out.
No, it's almost 12 minutes long. I'm just going to play a little bit of it. I mean, I'll play a little bit. No one's ever heard this. Now, keep in mind, this is a rough cut. We're changing some of it. We're changing some of it up. I'll tell you what. I'll play the first minute. Now, you have to understand this is mixed in 5.1. You're not going to hear it in 5.1. It's a fold down, and this is a rough cut, rough mix. I'm just going to play a little bit of it. If you're here for 3 hours, you'll get a little taste. You'll hear me at the beginning, but then I'll play a little bit. So here we're going to go. This is the proof of concept you'll hear as part of the crowdfunding campaign. And again, it's not mixed correctly, but because you watch this show, your imagination connoisseurs, you're the first people to hear this. And when you hear the beginning, it's like a stormy night. It's rough, the first, but you'll get a taste. All right, you ready? I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you all for being here. And you watching this show are going to get the first taste. Again, this is unmixed. It's all the elements are there. I have to do a whole mix session on it. And here you go. Of course, it's playing now.
Imagination Connoisseurs Unlimited, in association with Max Allan Collins, author of Road to Perdition, brings you True Noir, the Nathan Heller Casebooks, starring Todd Stashwick in the award-winning saga of Nathan Heller and his rise from the Chicago PD to notoriety as Private Eye to the Stars. We begin at Chicago's LaSalle Street Station on March 3rd, 1932.
Your attention, please. Final boarding for the 515 to Moline. Final boarding for the 515 to Moline.
Lindbergh baby kidnapped! Read all about it! Lindbergh baby snatched from crib! Why would someone do this to Charles Lindbergh?
That's all you get.
It's